Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome in Up Tempo on your Tuesday, the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Old Haircut. That is New Haircut. Armstrong Sims and Zach Sweeney are in here. Cole's joining us as well. Cole's joining us too. Let's go, folks. It's a big Tuesday. Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Men's golf yesterday, picking up a win at the Rice Intercollegiate. Women's basketball tonight in the Farrell Center against TCU. Kobe, a year ago today, the world, not just the United States or the basketball world, but the world in general, lost a legend in the death of Kobe Bryant. We're going to play Dead or Alive later on in the show today. And then I told you guys yesterday's show, that I've been betting some Monopoly money on college athletics now. And let's just say, last night was a good night for the banker. If I'm the banker.
For the banker?
Yeah, I don't think I said that right.
There we go. Hey, but it's a good night for you.
some Monopoly money coming your way, and I think people should probably pay a little more attention to the Pick'em, SicEm Pick'em here on Uptempo.
Oh, the SicEm Pick'em just got way.
That's what I'm saying.
The stakes are way higher on the SicEm Pick'em today. All right, 254-339-1122. That is the call and text line. If you're saying to me, you say, Drake, I'd love to call in. I got a voice for radio. I'm a frequent caller on the postgame show, but I'm at work right now. My boss wouldn't like that. I can't call in. Well, that's okay. 254-339-1122. Phone works both ways. Shoot us a text. Say, hey, you guys, watching from work, watching with my boss, got it on in the break room, can't pay attention to my work, watching Uptempo all day today.
Watching with my boss. He loves you guys too. Also, we're going under because we haven't worked since you guys started the show.
Yeah.
We're selling the company.
Can we have a job there, please? Yesterday, how about this? The men's golf team at the Rice Intercollegiate taking number 1, first place yesterday. Pretty big deal, yeah.
How about it?
And then also women's basketball tonight against TCU. The question of the day for me, this is not the Bear Games question today, it's just the question of the day.
Love it.
Does the Baylor women's basketball team still win the Big 12 this season? They've got the loss to Iowa State.
Right.
It is more competitive. There's more parity this season than there has been in the past. Do they finish out on top again?
I think so. I think anytime Kim Mulkey's at the helm, the amount of talent they have on this team, I really like them to get their tempo and kind of catch their rhythm and run the table the rest of the way. I think they got a really good shot.
Oh, up-tempo?
Up-tempo, all tempos.
Oh, my goodness.
In all climates.
Baylor women's basketball tonight, TCU. That one's in the Farrell Center, 7 o'clock. I tell you what, they seem to be catching their stride more. I got to go to a women's basketball game for the first time this season, actually.
Tonight you'll be there?
I was there Saturday.
Okay.
I watched the game Saturday against Oklahoma. I don't know if I'll be able to make it tonight.
Okay.
Thank you for putting me on the spot.
I mean, some of us don't even get to go, ever.
It's true.
To anything.
Okay. Thank you. Baylor number 1, Iowa State number 2 in the Big 12 standings. They're 6-2. Baylor's 5-1. West Virginia's 5-2, and then Texas, Vic Schaefer, they're 5-2 right now. So some competition at the top of the Big 12. So will the women's basketball team win the conference? I say it's likely. It's very likely they do it again, but it's not a lock. It's odd that this season, unlike seasons past, it's nowhere near a lock that the women's basketball team wins the conference. They're only half a game ahead of those behind them.
Yeah, I think even in a COVID-less year, I don't think they even lose to Iowa State. I think they have time to prep. I think
they lost to Iowa State last year in a COVID-less year.
Yeah, but I mean, also this year they had like a day to prepare. They effectively studied on the day of the test and lost by 4? I think in a COVID-less year, they probably beat Iowa State in a revenge game and are able to have a rhythm going into that game. That's my opinion.
And you're sticking to it?
That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, my goodness.
Opinion and my story.
I love it. Yeah, look, that's what this show's about. Taking it aside, sticking to it, like yesterday. Scott Crew's not the best coach. So last night in college basketball, how about this? I put some Monopoly money up on a couple of games last night. Virginia and Syracuse. I was a silly goose. It's the first time that I'd ever put Monopoly money on any games, and I thought I had confidence in Jim Boeheim at Virginia. I thought Syracuse would not lose by 7. 7.5 was the spread. I just didn't see it happening. Little did I know. Final score: Virginia 81, Syracuse 58. But also, if you have done any remote studying in college basketball or know anything about what the ACC has been like this season, the over-under in that game was 130. Did you know Virginia averages 72 points per game this season, and Syracuse averages 79 points per game this season? Add that up, and it equals 151. And the over-under was 130.
Big Monday.
So what do you do? What do you do on that?
Mathematically, I bet the over. I'm with you. I think it's a good bet. It's so frustrating with sports Monopoly betting. The house just somehow always has some sort of leg up. I shouldn't say always, because you actually came away up Monopoly money last night, from what I understand. But yeah, that's a tough beat. I'm with you. I think also, like, to a certain degree, you can only make like good Monopoly bets. Like in some fashion, you just have to play the numbers, and if they don't fall that way, it's okay. But a lot of times, it's going to fall the other way. So I think that's a good Monopoly bet. I'm with you. I would have taken that as well.
I liked that Monopoly bet. I also liked the Monopoly bet of Syracuse not losing by 7.5, and that did not happen. They got flipping trounced. They got to be like 23 at Virginia. So after that one, I was like, okay, this game of Monopoly betting that I'm playing so far tonight is probably not going that well.
You got to go to jail.
But then get yourself out of jail with Oklahoma State. The line on the first half, Oklahoma State -2. What does Oklahoma State do so well?
Cover.
In the first half, they play insanely well in the first half. Every game. They led by like 10 at the end of the first half last night. So we got some Monopoly monies back on that one.
Okay, there we go.
Then Oklahoma State was a 3-point favorite against Iowa State. Whose idea was that? Oklahoma State won the game by a final score. Let me pull it up here. Oklahoma State at Iowa State, 81-60 was the final. So some more Monopoly money. Texas Tech. Okay, here's where things get crazy from last night. Here's where things get crazy. I thought, also, I'm sorry, I forgot to open my caller line. We may have callers on right now. Let's see.
We're Gucci.
We're Gucci. So last night, I thought that it was Texas Tech minus 1.5 at West Virginia. I don't know if you watched the Texas Tech-West Virginia game, but the final score is a 1-point game. It was a 1-point game all the way down to the wire.
Yep.
I thought it was Texas Tech minus 1.5. So I'm sitting there screaming at the TV for Texas Tech to win by 2.
Yep.
I just need them to win by 2. Last second shot, West Virginia hits the bank off the glass. They're up by 1. Tech comes down, flipping, what's his name? Jimmer Fredette drives. McClung drives. Same guy. McClung drives. He tries the little short corner jumper, and no, it doesn't go. Because why would it? And if it would have gone, Texas Tech would have won by 1.
Yep.
And then that would not have helped me still. So I sulk, and I'm like, okay, I'm picking up all my Monopoly monies, seeing what I got left, and just, I'm sad. I'm like, okay, what can I hit in the next game after that? Try to, make some more Monopoly monies back. and so
it drags you in.
Then I get a text from one of my buddies. Hey, bro, you're killing it tonight. Congrats on the Texas Tech hit.
The Monopoly, what's the Monopoly guy's name? Who's the
Mr.
banker?
Monopoly. He's got the monocle.
Is that who it is? Oh, okay, Mr. Monopoly.
I don't know. Turns out it was West Virginia minus 1.5. I had Tech plus 1.5. Guess what happened?
Tech covered 1.5.
West Virginia won by 1. So I made like 10 Monopoly dollars. It wasn't that big of a deal.
But 10 Monopoly dollars adds up.
It does.
10 Monopoly dollars adds up, and that's the best when you're like, I thought it was going to be a Monopoly beat, but it's a Monopoly win, and you pass go, and next thing you know, you own all the boulevards.
I own every of the boulevards. Then the late game that night, I got really generous at the late game. Arizona State. Who sets the over-unders and the lines on these games? Arizona was a 4-point favorite against Arizona State at home. Mind you, Arizona State has lost like 6 straight games. They're playing at Arizona. At one point, the score of the game was 32-6.
Does that ever make you nervous when you see a line, you're like, that is so wrong? Like, that is so wrong. What do they know that I don't know?
Yeah, that's true. I started looking,
that makes me nervous.
Who's hurt for Arizona? What's going to go wrong tonight? And then at the end, I was just like, it's too good to be true. Similar to the over-under in Syracuse, Virginia. So we went to Arizona State, and then I took the money line on that one too. I just felt really good about Arizona.
Yeah.
I put all of the Monopoly money on the money line.
That's what you got to do.
5 out of 6 hit last night. Syracuse and Virginia, the only bad beat in my book, and it was the worst beat because Virginia won by 23 against Syracuse. Outside of that, though, we're up 59 Monopoly dollars after last night.
There we go.
This is just a fun game. I'm playing with my fraternity brothers. Don't give me that look. There is no real money involved in this. It's just paper money with the frat guys.
I believe you.
He doesn't believe me.
I know. No. Hey. For legal reasons, I believe you.
Thank you, Armstrong, for believing me. How about what else we got? All right, here we go. Kobe Bryant. We had to talk about this today. Kobe Bryant, all-time, one of the great basketball players, maybe top 5. Yeah. It'd be tough to argue that. 81 against Toronto in 06. That's the one game his grandma got to go to. Did you know that? That's the story behind it. That's the one game his grandma got to go to.
Didn't play the 4th either.
I don't know anybody that doesn't love Kobe.
Yeah.
He, even as he was old, he was cocky, played selfish basketball, but he deserved to. He was a legend, an absolute legend, and we lost Kobe Bryant a year ago today. Armstrong, do you have that video queued up that J.D. sent in today? Beautiful. Let's go ahead and run that if you will.
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. However, I couldn't completely miss the chance to take a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off. I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it. So with that, I'll let you carry on with your evening. Please know I'm thinking of you, supporting you, and encouraging you always. Peace.
Wow.
Wherever he ranks among best athletes of all time, I think is up for discussion. Wherever he ranks among best competitors of all time, it's him and Michael Jordan 1 and 2. Because Mamba mentality, you say Mamba mentality, you know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's Kobe Bryant. And everybody remembers where they were when they found out the news about Kobe Bryant. Like, I got a text, I thought it was a joke. I was like, Kobe Bryant died? What are you talking about? Like, there's no way. And a helicopter crash, no way, not Kobe. And, I think it even just that next 2 weeks, like you saw ripples across all sports. Like all athletes were just heartbroken, had different stories about why they started playing their respective sports and, the inspiration they drew from Kobe Bryant. And just absolutely heartbreaking even a year from the day. It still doesn't really feel real.
Tell me, and that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah. Where were you when you found out that Kobe Bryant had died and kind of what followed?
Yeah. So ironically, we did a drive-through with Scott Drew that day. Went through Chick-fil-A, and that was really, really cool. We were at Guest Barbecue. Got a text and kind of glanced at it. And like I said, I thought it was a joke. Thought it wasn't real. I was like, this is a pretty sick joke. Got back to the house. Sure enough, jump on Twitter and saw it was all over Twitter. A lot of people with blue checks were tweeting about it. And so I was like, all right, there's maybe some validity here. I think it was the same day as the Pro Bowl, actually. So really? Sat down watching the Pro Bowl and was just, I think the news really broke at half for a lot of the guys that were on the field, and you could see the emotion in their face were just disbelief.
Yeah. Armstrong, where were you the day Kobe died?
I was home in Dallas, and we were at the Boot Barn, a store, my brother.
Oh.
And I saw it on Twitter. And it's crazy because my family, if you know my family, we do not care about the NBA at all. Yeah. Like, we do never watch the, I haven't watched a full NBA game in years, not even the finals. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But we were like, no way this is, and we, the rest of the day, all we did was just watch the news. It was such a big deal, even for people who don't give a rip about the NBA. That was still just,
Because he was bigger than that, right? Kobe transcended professional sports. I feel like he was so vulnerable too, in a way, when you listen to him speak. It was like I never met Kobe, obviously. I never met Kobe, but the impact he had on my life and so many other athletes' lives and people's lives, it's evident. It's evident. Mamba mentality is 100% a real thing, and just still doesn't feel real a year from the day.
Yeah,
I remember that day, a week or so before that day, somebody had asked me, because I was still early on in sports media at that point, at the Baylor level, covering Baylor. And they said, hey, if there's one, we had the conversation the day or two before about how there's really nobody that I could imagine interviewing that would make me really get jittery and nervous. Like, I feel like I could confidently go in an interview, well-studied, and ask questions. And they said, if there was one person you could interview that you think would make you nervous, who would it be? And it made me think, wow, like the magnitude of interviewing a guy like Kobe Bryant would just be so, just the emotion of that moment. Having Kobe Bryant right there in front of you and the impact that he's had on so many people. But one of the things that I thought, as nervous as I think I'd be, I would have such a calm peace too, knowing Kobe's personality, I just know he's not going to take a question and run it through the mud, or, the guy just cared about people.
Yeah.
He just loved people. So I was at the, I was in the checkout line of the Family Dollar. Sunday, it was a Sunday. And, I got I don't remember what it was. I think it was a tweet, or I think it's like you, Armstrong, just a tweet kind of comes across, and then I looked, I was like, Kobe died?
Yeah.
And then somebody from behind us in the line was like, yeah, that's what I saw too. Yeah. And I think there was that hour or so after you see it where you're like, there's no way.
Yeah, because I think TMZ broke it first. It wasn't like ESPN or some super, TMZ is reputable to a degree, but you hear something from TMZ, you're like, I'm going to double check that. And then I think it wasn't until Woj broke it on Twitter where I was like, wow, this is real.
Yeah, unbelievable. Kobe Bryant, a year ago today, died in California in a helicopter crash.
Him and
Gigi both.
Yeah.
Yep, and there were other members on the plane as well.
So sad.
On the helicopter as well. But year ago today, and I remember having the TV on the rest, like you said, the rest of the afternoon, just Sports Center on, and the tributes they're paying. That was the news. That was everything stopped that day to pay homage to Kobe. Like homework, everything else, just kind of put it on pause and look at, all right, wow. Yeah. The world lost a legend.
Yeah, not just an athlete, like you said, a legend, a historical figure, not just in sports, I think quite literally in history. Kobe Bryant, arguably one of the best athletes of all time, but again, I truly believe the best competitor of all time.
Oh, boy, and that just segued right into 2020. What a roller coaster of a year that was.
Didn't it? That was the first domino to fall.
Right. Well, Howard.
It felt like
David Stern died.
Yeah.
David Stern was right there at the start. So the world kind of falls apart after David Stern and then Kobe. And then, man, just like you said, the dominoes start to fall. But, hey, when we come back, we've got men's golf, a recap from yesterday's big win. And the Rice Intercollegiate Women's Basketball is against TCU at home tonight. Talking playing a little Dead or Alive. And then last night, some more of last night's basketball coverage, then previewing tonight's games. This is Up Tempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech and Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen, gets to the baseline, off balance, he's got it! 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung. A 1-point game. McClung floats one. Just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13 under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back in Up Tempo on your Tuesday. Drake Toll alongside J.D. Pickell, Armstrong,
Boom.
Sims, Cole's in here, Zach Sweeney's in here. How about the haircut? Nice new haircut you
Yeah,
got going
thanks,
on
man.
there.
Scissors. My guy Jason has scissors. Monday, $13 haircuts. Took care of me.
$13?
$13, man. To look like this.
Jeez.
I'll take it.
I paid like $25 for this.
You look good, though.
Oh, well, not a week ago. This guy did a better job of getting a haircut than I did. How about this today? Number 22 in the country, the USA Today NFCA D1 Coaches Poll. Baylor softball, number 22 in the nation. How about it?
How about him? It's a good time to be in Waco, man. I'm telling you.
It is.
Very, very few sports that are bad right now.
I like that team a lot. I think last year they were on a trajectory to go to the College Softball World Series in Oklahoma City. They obviously had the season pulled out from under them right there. UCLA at 1, Washington, Arizona, Oklahoma from the Big 12 at 4. Patty Gasso in Oklahoma. 5, LSU. 6, Texas, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, and Oregon. Oklahoma State in there as well from the Big 12. And then, Arkansas at 18. That's a little higher than I thought they would be.
And you called a Baylor game last year.
I did.
You
so
stood in there, called the deal. Tell
odd
that
story.
Yeah.
I get a call from John Morris, a text actually, that says, "Hey, I know it's spring break next week, but we need somebody to do IMG radio for the Baylor softball game. Can you do it?" And I was like, "Can I do it?" Yeah. 19 years old. Opportunity to call it IMG, to go on IMG radio and do a college softball game. Freaking awesome. So
cool.
Automatic yes.
It.
Canceled the spring break plans. Drove down to Houston with the team. Called a doubleheader in Houston against the Cougs. Had game 1. Rodoni was like an out away from a perfect game. Mm-hmm. Man, that's like I've never, as an announcer, been so shaky. She was right there on the verge of a perfect game. Game 2, Baylor hits 5 home runs. Nothing better to call than home runs. And then we get on a plane the next morning to fly to Jacksonville, Florida. We land in Jacksonville, drive to Gainesville. Baylor, Florida, top 25, top 15 series.
About to go down.
Gators, Bears, tomorrow's the big day. Get ready for game day, doing my prep, all my stuff's ready. Boom, get a call. Rudy Gobert's tested positive. Crap. NBA is shut down. College basketball shuts down. We get another call. Everybody out of the hotel. We're leaving in an hour. We're jumping on the bus, back to Jacksonville, getting on a plane, going to Waco. Like, the turnaround was like that. Just bam, bam. I mean, things happen. Next thing you know, I'm back in Waco off the plane. Never got to see that series against Florida. There were a lot of things that I remember them talking about, not having fans, only allowing parents. Like they were gonna play it, but very COVID safe. And they were just like, nope, can't do it. Everything else is shut down. We're done.
Everyone pulled the plug on things so fast. Like March Madness, a lot of games ended at halftime for a lot of these conference tournaments for college basketball. Like there were fans literally leaving the games at half and saying, "Hey, we're done with this tournament. Tournament's done. We're not playing anymore."
Yeah,
wild, absolutely
unbelievable.
Wild. On a lighter note, though, Baylor softball. I'm taking a crazy pivot here, but you are kind of the Baylor softball expert
connoisseur
between the two of us. What is a realistic expectation for them this season?
I like Baylor softball at probably third in the Big 12 this year. I think they can overtake Oklahoma State. I think Texas is really solid. It's going to be tough to beat Texas and Oklahoma. Those are powerhouses. What I like about Baylor, though, is they're going to vie to host a regional at the end of the year. Typically, it's a team that maybe they're going to lose a couple games down the stretch that don't go their way, and they'll get a snub for the regional. They'll be a 2 seed. They'll go play in a regional in, I don't know, we'll say Fayetteville. That's not impossible. But it's a team that I really legitimately think could be a 2 seed in a regional, maybe verge bubble of hosting a regional. Either way, they're going to be a squad that I think goes to a super regional, and then it's kind of up to them. But they play so well at the competition.
I love it.
Look at the number 2 win against Arizona, the wins against Georgia to go to the World Series in the past decade. They do really well, like most Baylor programs. And Baylor just seems like that chippy high school that you're like, gosh, dang it, I don't want to play them.
Blue collar,
right?
Annoying,
right?
I
love
it.
They just win the games when it matters. So I like Baylor. Baylor softball last year I thought would make it to a World Series. After seeing them in person, being around the team, the culture that Coach Moore has built there, I really thought Baylor softball was on that trajectory. Thought they would have had a big weekend against Florida had they got to play it. But in the end, no. And this year, maybe so. If they pick up where they were, they got a lot of good senior leadership. Gia Rodoni may be the best pitcher in the country. I mean, she hits her spots better than anyone I've seen in softball. So I think they got a really good shot at finishing third or so in the Big 12, which will probably get you to host a regional and then possibly making a World Series.
Over under 1.5 games you're calling for them this year.
Over.
I love it.
Over.
I love it. Also, Gia Rodoni, sister of Thor Rodoni. Baylor football long snapper.
I would say Thor Rodoni, brother of Gia Rodoni.
Thor Rodoni, I hardly know her.
That's not how the joke works.
We're here all week, baby.
Hall of Famers, Will Shields, Joe Taylor, among 5 new college football playoff committee members. They announced it at 11 o'clock today. Former Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman and Pro Bowl Hall of Famer Will Shields, also Outland Trophy winner at Nebraska. And then Virginia Union Athletic Director Joe Taylor, one of the winningest coaches in HBCU history. Those 2 are one of the 5 in. Mitch Barnhart from Kentucky is in. Boo Corrigan, the AD from NC State, is also in. And then Texas Athletic Director Chris Del Conte has been named to the College Football Playoff Committee.
Right up until then, I was like, I'm on board with this list. Right up until you said Chris Del Conte. Because Texas doesn't need any help from the media. Texas doesn't need any help being top whatever they are in the country to start the season. They always are going to be top 15, have a lot of hype around them, going to be someone's sleeper pick to win the Big 12, to make the College Football Playoff. They don't need their AD on the board making decisions. Like, they just don't. They don't need that.
It's not going to help Texas get in the playoff, that's for sure.
It doesn't win you any games.
It doesn't win you any
games, but I do like the other additions there.
Oh, it's a thankless job to be on the committee, too. I remember Jeff Long was the AD at Arkansas. He's now at Kansas. He was the head of the committee, the head of the first committee, and so thankless. Like, that's one of the reasons I think he lost the job at Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of his work on the committee.
Yeah, just being the head of the committee, you just get the slander that comes from that. All right, we got this old classic video here that resurfaced in the last couple of days. Somebody sent it over my way, and I cannot believe this is real. I really cannot believe it's real, but it is. It is very real. We're gonna break it down. Armstrong, do you have that video?
Kick it down to Drake for Eagle Vision sideline report.
Hey guys, just talked to our athletic trainer Wilson McKnight down here. We got a couple guys with injuries to tendon to. We got Trenton Hetherington down here with his arm. He's fighting with the pain. He's had complications for a while now, but he's all right. He's going to continue to play. Devin James, possible broken finger. He's still in the ball game. These guys are a little bruised up, some blood here and there. Nothing we haven't seen before. And a lot of them are playing through some pain, playing through the toughness. Now, excuse me, that pickle juice didn't go down the right pipe. But as far as our guys go, fatigue, we're still pumped up, still ready to go, and the student section hadn't given up, and that's the coolest part to me is these fans are still up and in it. It's been a fun night here at Philip D. Weaver.
I think it was the bomb. You know, Drake, you're right. The Eagles student section, I mean, they're up on their feet.
How about that?
That was 3 years ago.
I love that.
That was 3 years ago.
My boy glowed up.
How things have changed since then.
Now you're out here winning Monopoly money, got your own radio show that took the boy off the sideline. Let's start with the first part, the draw. When Armstrong and I first saw this video, we were like, oh my gosh. The voice has to be fake. Arkansas.
The voice has to be fake.
It has to be fake. But I think it sounds amazing, though.
Oh, I think it's great. I would love for that to make a comeback. I mean, I love your voice right now, but I think the draw is just, mean, the draw's up here.
It
I love
ruins
the
all
draw.
credibility. There's no
It
credibility.
does not.
I love the
If
draw.
I sit right here and talk like I used to about college sports, you guys probably couldn't listen to this all day.
Also,
I know I couldn't.
I loved it.
I could.
Can we run it back? Number 6,
we
who's
can.
walking behind Drake.
We can.
First of all, has his cell phone in his belly. So his cell phone is like tucked into his jersey, and he's kind of like walking around smirking, thinking, oh, what's going on here? Trying to get a little bit of airtime. And also, tremendous in-depth insight by you giving us the breakdown with who has a finger injury, who's got an arm injury.
Yeah, it was a good breakdown.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love number 6.
Some blood and stuff. Nothing we haven't seen before.
You know it's hot. You know it's probably hot down there. Team's down by 21 points, but you're still down there.
Oh, it was so hot.
I love number 6 when
Where
he
does
comes
he
in
go?
here in the front. He's walking. He goes, hey, something's on TV.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. Might as well walk around here.
You're right. His phone is in his stomach.
He's got his cell phone over his belly button. Takes a look at Drake. Takes a look at the camera. Look at Drake. Rub the mouth. What am I going to do here? I got some on my face. No, I don't. Cross my arms.
Pickle juice finger on the wrong pack.
And then he walks back in the frame. And he's like, I might as well get some airtime here.
I did right.
Is Drake looking a little chunky?
Okay. I did have the muffin top going on.
They feed the boys good in Arkansas.
Back in the day.
There's no shame in that. I would be too if I lived in Arkansas. Are you kidding me?
Junior year of high school. You guys would never believe that was my. So that was 3 years ago. How the mighty have fallen. How things have changed since that day. But yeah,
it's my new favorite video.
It's incredible.
That has taken over my top spot from USA Hockey.
When I go back home,
we need to play that now.
I love that.
When I go back home, the draw comes back.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
I have a roommate who is from a small town, and whenever he talks to his parents on the phone, he suddenly changes his accent.
No way.
Oh yeah,
that's so funny.
Right. But I had to eradicate the Southern accent in order to have this job. They told me that coming in.
Was that in the contract?
They said JD has to cut his hair and Drake can't be so Southern anymore. And now
I
here
don't
we
know.
are.
I think it would have been.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think they did the opposite.
Are you guys proponents of the Southern accent?
Yeah.
I am.
Long hair and accents, baby. That's what the show's built on.
Set you apart.
It's a lot.
Mullet.
I could have gone for the muffin top, man. Really how the mighty have fallen. Tonight in basketball, Miami and Louisville on the women's side. Number 1, Louisville at home. TCU at number 9, Baylor. That in the Farrell Center at 7 p.m. Number 3, UConn at Providence. Number 12, Michigan at a really good unranked Michigan State team. Oh, postponed. That's right.
Darn.
Michigan canceled all basketball activities because of COVID-19. Tonight in college men's basketball, how about it? The Super Tuesday slate across the country. It's Big Monday, Super Tuesday, right?
Sounds right. Medium Wednesday?
Is that what we decided on?
Medium Wednesday.
Medium Wednesday,
I think
baby.
so.
Tonight in college basketball, Oklahoma is on the road against Texas. That's number 24, Oklahoma. Number 5, Texas. You want to go ahead and pick that?
You got Monopoly money on that?
I don't know.
Oklahoma -4.
I don't.
Texas
Texas
-4.
minus
-4. Sorry. I like Texas to cover.
Oklahoma's sneaky. I probably like Texas to cover there too. That's probably where I'll go with my Monopoly money.
At home? I mean, does it matter?
Number 9, Alabama at home is a 6.5-point favorite against unranked Kentucky. Kentucky's still dangerous.
Kentucky still can. See, I don't know what to do with these blue bloods. Like, does it still matter that you're Kentucky in a COVID year? Does it still matter that you're Duke in a COVID year? I've been leaning yes, but I think I picked Duke a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. I was like, Duke's still Duke, and they just got throttled, and I was like, well, I guess they're not Duke anymore.
I like Alabama to cover there, though.
To cover 6.5, yeah.
I like Alabama this season. Number 9 in the country. They're a 2 seed right now.
Roll Tide.
18, Tennessee is at home against Mississippi State. Boy, they need to pick me up. Tennessee, how the mighty have really fallen.
Yeah. What they did against Florida, it was last week as well.
Yeah, they're a 9-point favorite tonight.
I don't know if they cover the 9, but I think they win.
I think they cover the 9.
Really think they cover the 9? Okay.
I think they
All right. I'd love
need
to see them cover the 9. I'd love to see them bounce back.
They need to get back. 8-2 SMU, 4-2 in the American Conference. 8-5 Memphis, 4-2 in the American Conference. That game at Memphis, and the Tigers are 2.5-point favorites.
I'm gonna say Penny Hardaway and the boys cover. I think they get it done at home. 2.5 isn't that much. Maybe it's a garbage bucket. Well, I guess it's not really not a garbage bucket if it's -2.5. But
yeah, true.
I think they cover. I think it backdoor cover.
UConn, 5.5-point favorite. They were ranked for a little bit. They're at home against unranked Butler. Butler 5-7 overall this year. Butler's been really sneaky though. Over/under in that game is 123.5.
Wow, do you like that?
I think you hammer the over.
Interesting.
I don't know a lot about UConn, but I'm going to hammer the over.
I know nothing about either of these teams when it comes to how many points they score. Does Gordon Hayward still play for Butler?
Yes.
He does? Okay, yeah. I like Butler to cover and for the over. Based on Drizzy Drake, Monopoly Money Toll, baby.
I like the over. I don't know about Butler, man. We'll see what goes on in that one. And then one of the last big games, a couple more on here. Number 12, Missouri is at Auburn. Auburn is a 2.5-point favorite at home against 10-2, number 12, Missouri. I like Missouri right now a lot. Auburn, I don't know why people are still so high on Auburn. They're 9-7 overall, 3-5 in the SEC. Where do you go with that?
Sharif Cooper? I think they cover. I think Auburn at home gets it done, and they cover.
That's
Sharif Cooper.
That's why people are still high on Auburn.
Because Sharif Cooper.
Yeah.
Sharif Cooper.
Yeah, Sharif
Nobody
Cooper's
listen to
a
that.
dog.
Don't listen to that.
Sharif Cooper's a dog.
It's
and
Missouri.
it's at home.
Auburn doesn't play that well at home. Historically.
It's still a home game.
Yeah, but home doesn't matter anymore this year.
I don't think so.
Georgia Tech at Duke. Duke is a 6-point favorite at home against 7-4, 3-2 Georgia Tech. Duke is 3-3 in the ACC, 5-5 overall.
I wouldn't touch Duke to cover in any of these games.
Really?
Going forward. I think after seeing what Duke did a week ago and just getting throttled, I don't care who they're playing. I don't feel good about Duke covering anybody.
Really? Armstrong?
That's just me.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
Like, I just don't know anything. I just don't know who Duke is anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who is, like, he's just ripping college reporters after in
true.
Zoom press conferences. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That was ridiculous. That alone made me not want to root for Duke.
LSU at Texas A&M, the last one on here tonight. LSU is a 5-point favorite on the road in College Station. Tickets as low as $5.
Are we going?
We can go.
Are we going?
Armstrong, you? Oh, we have dinner.
We say we
have
pack
dinner
up,
tonight.
we pack up the van and we go.
We're getting dinner tonight.
We're not getting dinner
in
tonight.
College Station?
That's not tonight.
I'm getting dinner with him tonight.
Ooh,
I'm cheating on you.
This is awkward.
Y'all are?
We'll find out this
We're getting
week.
dinner tonight.
What?
It's a work meeting. It's a work meeting.
I got LSU to cover.
I like LSU as well. Also, big shout out to Michael Woodson of the Baylor tennis team. How about Armstrong? Do we have there are tennis balls somewhere up here. Okay, there's one by this helmet, and there's one by the other helmet. Those are tennis balls. There's a tennis shirt on here. Thank you to Coach Michael Woodson of the Baylor tennis team. I love that guy.
That's so awesome.
I love that guy.
He was a great interview too when we had him on.
Oh,
Again, he said, yeah, we're going to win the national championship. Also, here's some free gear for your desk. Let's run it back in a few weeks.
I love it. Armstrong's Minute, quick break. When we come back, we're playing Dead or Alive. This is Uptempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech and Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen. Gets to the baseline. Off balance. He's got it. 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung. A 1-point game. McClung floats one. Just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13 under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive at 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Engel with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back to the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den today. Also, that key's over there by the helmets right there.
Gorgeous.
That's a little, right there. You see it?
I love it.
Yep, 100%. We got you. Today, it is Tuesday, meaning we play Dead or Alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you 9 famous people. These people are all related to media. In some way. Daytime, nighttime television. Are they dead or are they alive? Armstrong,
we're going to
cue the
find
music.
out. I'll feel extra bad now because if they're in media, they're like pretty visible people probably.
Yeah, 100%.
So like I should know if they are or aren't.
All
Still
right.
on TV.
David Letterman. Dead or alive, JD?
Alive.
Definitely alive.
David Letterman is alive.
Big Letterman, okay.
Dick Clark Armstrong, dead or alive?
What is he on?
The Dick Clark Rockin' New Year's Eve.
I'm going to say dead.
I think he's alive.
I only know Ryan Seacrest rocking New Year's Eve.
He is dead. Dick Clark would have been 103 today. Armstrong loses that point.
Dang, Richard.
Bob Barker. Legendary game show host.
I think he's dead, yeah.
Bob Barker.
Yeah.
That's like all I can think of is when I
think he's going to go dead.
He's 97 and alive.
Oh, good.
Bob Barker's alive. I am so scared.
Darn it. What do you mean he's alive?
I am so scared.
No, I'm not. I'm dang it that
I know what you mean. I know. It's a tough game to like gauge our reaction.
What have you done?
I feel
People
terrible.
are like, wait, what have you done?
Like that producer's a jerk.
You gotta be on watch in the next week.
This is not on me.
No.
Johnny Carson of the Johnny Carson Show.
Ooh, I think he's dead.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go alive.
Really?
Just to save his life.
Wow, he is dead. 96 years old he would have been today, Johnny Carson. Joan Rivers. Joan, this game has taken on a whole new mantra after things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. Joan Rivers, dead or alive?
Joan Rivers.
Alive.
From what?
From TV, man. She was just on TV.
Was she on a show?
No, like Dateline and Nightly News and Joan Rivers.
You say she's alive? I'll say she's dead because I don't know who that is.
She's dead. You can't say alive for everyone. Just to save
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's not on my head.
Wheel of Fortune's Pat Sajak, dead or alive?
Oh, say dead.
Yeah, I'll go dead.
He's alive. He was on TV
strong.
last night.
I don't watch Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
So he's literally Pat Sajak.
I didn't even know who that was
Yeah,
until right
me
now.
neither.
I'll be honest.
I never heard of that guy.
I had no idea.
Pat Sajak is literally the host of Wheel of Fortune.
I've never watched
Does
a
he spin
single
the
episode
wheel?
of Wheel of Fortune in
Yeah.
my life.
I've never been.
I maybe watched like 2 clips.
Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin, dead or alive?
He's dead.
Alive.
No, he's dead.
Gosh, he's dead. Armstrong.
I'm missing
He died,
every
like,
single
in the
one.
last
I remember
year.
when that happened. Yeah,
I'm
that
trying
was
to walk
so
on
sad.
eggshells here.
So sad.
Rush Limbaugh, dead or alive?
He's alive.
Is he alive?
He has like cancer or something.
Oh, gosh.
Dude, he literally does.
Okay, I'll say he's alive.
Does
He
he?
is. Rush Limbaugh is alive. He's 70. He does have cancer.
Yeah.
You didn't have to bring that up on the. You didn't put a damper on everything.
Why is he in the game?
Tom.
That's what I wanted to know. I should just call it.
Tom Brokaw, dead or alive? I'm Tom Brokaw.
Oh, I
That
have
guy.
a book by him.
I'm gonna say dead. Because I'm not familiar. with who that is.
Alive.
He's alive.
Thank
Tom
you.
Brokaw's
There we go.
alive.
Thank you.
Armstrong missed 6 out of the 9.
We're done?
Dead or alive. We are.
Hallelujah.
Thank goodness.
My heart rate goes so high this part of the show, more than any other.
Considering things that have happened in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive has taken on a whole new. You texted and said, please don't play Dead or Alive with any of my family members. Oh my
I
goodness.
hope everybody else thinks this is like kind of funny. Because
I'm
this
Drake Toll,
is, like,
that's
just
J.D.
uncomfortable.
Pickell,
not really funny,
Armstrong,
it's just kinda
Sims,
sad.
Zach, Sweeney, and Cola with us today. When we come back, we're taking a call from Stephen from Virginia, but this guy's got to leave to walk his dog at the dog park early today.
Yeah.
This is Up Tempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech in Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen. Gets to the baseline. Off balance. He's got it. 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung. A 1-point game. McClung floats one. Just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13 under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back in Up Tempo. J.D. Pickell had to take his dog to the dog park, but we roll on. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney Cole's in here with us as well, and now Steven from Virginia has been holding on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Steven, sorry we had to hold you. Had to get a little bit of dead or alive in there with old JD before he slipped out. But you're on now with Up Tempo.
Nothing makes me feel older than whoever y'all picked to be dead on the Dead or Alive. I mean, I can't be that much older than y'all, but, I know that Pat Sajak is still alive.
Oh, yeah, that was too easy. I was really here's the deal. I am wholly disappointed in Armstrong and JD's performance in Dead or Alive over the last 3 weeks, but almost the incorrect answers make it better. Like, if they landed all of them, it would just be like, yeah, that makes sense. But no, it's kind of tough. It's a tough game.
It is a tough game, and I've got to be honest, Rush Limbaugh is terminally ill, so if you had done him in a few weeks, the answer might be different. So it's a hard game to play, and you can't make everybody happy. But I did want to agree with Armstrong and JD about the twang in your Arkansas accent as somebody who is from Missouri, so that's pretty close. I know what that particular brand of accent is, and I got to say, when I listen, I was actually in the car, so I wasn't watching y'all on TV, and I didn't know it was you.
Wow.
But if you had told me we're listening to, I did not know that was you. But if you had before you put the clip on, if you had said, well, we're going to tune into high school football coverage in the state of Arkansas, I would have felt, okay, I would have been like, yeah, that's exactly what that is. You sound like you fit right in, man. I don't know if people in Texas appreciate that brand of accent as much, but, I certainly know that you fit in.
No, that was normal. There was no one at my high school or that I grew up around that was ever like, man, your accent is super thick, because we all talk like that. Imagine a town of 4,000 people where everyone sounds exactly like that. That is my reality.
Nobody sees anything wrong with that. Nobody sees. They're like, what do you mean he sounds normal to me?
Right. And then I get to Baylor, and all my friends are from California, and they're all just enamored with the way that I talked. But I had already eradicated it decently before I got to college. And then once I got to college, it was like, all right, we need zero Southern accent. So we turned it down.
Well, I'm happy for you though, because like I gotta say, on the list of things that you don't like to hear, it's announcers with twangy voices get really excited when people make plays on you. I'm sorry I missed J.D. so he can hear this story, but they were showing this dunk on SicEm365 yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had to share the story. When I was in high school, I think I told y'all that I played high school basketball, and I use that term loosely. Well, my shining moment in high school was that as a junior, we were playing in a tournament at VCU, and we were playing a school that featured future Wake Forest 1,000-point scorer Travis McKay.
Wow.
And he came down the lane with, about 38 seconds to go, which is about the amount of playing time I get anyway. And I was right there, and I attempted to take a charge. And I'll say it to you the same way I say it to them. I think we all know how that went. And that actually ended up on the cover of the sports section of the Richmond Times-Dispatch.
No, Stephen from Virginia got put on a literal poster.
Yes, and they put it up in the locker room for the rest of the year, and it was on the evening news on NBC 12.
No.
And the guy who was on NBC 12 at the time had a twangy accent, and he was like, "Oh my God, the house is coming down," and I was like, "Yeah." And I did not play basketball as a senior in high school after that.
Wow. My dad got dunked on one time, and that's why he quit basketball as well. Sometimes you get put on a poster and you decide it's time to hang him up.
I'd had enough of that, so I'll catch y'all later.
Wow. Any Bear games, Steven?
I would love some Bear games, buddy.
Final four time. The 7 seed play-in Seth Russell against number 1 Corey Coleman.
I've already taken a sneak peek at this poll, and the world seems to be right again, because it looked like it was in 75-25 split in favor of Corey Coleman.
Yep.
So unless there's a huge ballot dump, I would say that the madness seems to be over. Corey Coleman is the greatest. I mean, I know that J.D. said Devontae Smith when I said Corey Coleman was the greatest receiver of all time, but Corey Coleman caught 20 touchdowns in 7 games.
Yeah.
And if Seth Russell, not only if Seth Russell hadn't gotten hurt, but then Jarrett Stidham got hurt too. There were 2 capable quarterbacks that got hurt, and if that hadn't happened, 20 touchdowns in 7 games. I mean, it might not have been 20, but it was ridiculous.
It's unfathomable, right?
And the only reason he didn't get more is because they had nobody to throw the football.
Corey Coleman, you got, and then Baylor basketball was a movie. What would it be titled?
The Original Rebuilding Project.
Wow. What does it have to? No.
Coach Drew is the best coach in college basketball, and I texted this into the line, and you didn't read it. I've been a Baylor basketball fan long enough to be excited about Pat Dennehy transferring to our program. So, Pat Dennehy was here in 2003, and so was Dave Bliss, and then came Scott Drew, and Mark Few had Adam Morrison in 2005. So, I wanted to say that because I did. When y'all were arguing the other day, no one really pointed that out. So,
Steven has a point there.
It's really a big deal. I love Scott Drew. Scott Drew is, I wish he could be my dad.
I love it. Steven from Virginia, thanks for calling Up Tempo.
Later, guys.
See you later. All right, here we go. We're going to hit a break right here with Little Armstrong's Minute. some commercials when we come back. Grayson Grundafer from SicEm365.com. We're talking football recruiting today as Baylor continues to add in this current class, including a new preferred walk-on who has decided to make Baylor home. Again, when we come back, Grayson Grundafer joins the show. This is Up-Tempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech and Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen, gets to the baseline, off balance, he's got it! 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung. A 1-point game. McClung floats one. Just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13 under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new Lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Engel with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back in Up Tempo on your Tuesday. The Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den, Armstrong, Zach, and Cole are in here. I am Drake Toll, and we are now joined by Grayson Grundaver of SicEm365.com, the master recruiting genius. Grayson, welcome on to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Drake. And I gotta say, man, calling me the recruiting genius is a funny line for sure, but I do the best I can, with what I got.
I think what would be even funnier is the fact that, Grayson, I'm not sure if you're able to see, we just threw your screen up onto our feed and it was upside down. I think Armstrong's playing around with your camera angle there. But I think we got you now. We've got you all set up now. So Grayson, walk me through kind of 30,000-foot view of really what the last week or two have been like for this new staff at Baylor. Does it seem like they're still trying to get comfortable, or have they hit the recruiting trail pretty quick?
Yeah, they've hit it extremely quick, and I honestly think it's just making up for lost time, to be honest. There was a lot of time in there where Baylor didn't put out any offers, where it felt like recruiting was on a pause. And since this new staff has come in, it just seems like they're trying to get offers out as quickly as they can, because there are targets out there that they really need to get in on early, and they've been able to do that, I think, over the past couple weeks. So they're in a good position now. In the 2022 class and 2023 class, they've put out enough offers to where I feel like they feel comfortable with where they are with some of those priority targets. And now it's really about evaluating and trying to find those hidden gem guys who other schools haven't found, and that you can go in and provide a quick and first offer, and then get out in front of guys' recruitments and start building those relationships.
Grayson, before we get too far into the 2021, 2, and 3 classes that the Baylor is either built or starting to build, working on position players and how Jeff Grimes views each position, does it seem like Baylor will have a new emphasis on different spots on the field? Maybe, I know tight end has been a big question. Will there be positions that Baylor is now going to recruit differently?
Yeah, the tight end position is one. I actually wrote an article on it today. It's actually on the website right now, but it's literally focusing on what Jeff Grimes did at BYU for the tight end position. And it's really cool to go take a look back and see how productive some of those guys were. In particular, Matt Bushman, who was there for every year that Grimes was there, aside from this past year, because he tore his Achilles, I believe, right before the season started. But really cool to see what he did. He was their leading receiver for all 3 of those first 3 years with Grimes, and then this past year they were able to spread it to wide receivers a little bit more, and actually they had a freshman tight end who had a really big year, Isaac Rex. So, I mean, he did a great job developing that position, recruited it well, and found a way to make those guys productive. And if you look at what Baylor has on the current roster, it looks like they have some guys who can make some plays. Ben Sims, Drake Dabney, Sam Snyder, Tyler Henderson, even Christoph Henley has been used a ton in blocking since he was a true freshman. So they have talent on campus, and I think Jeff Grimes is definitely going to focus on that position. He wants big athletes who he can play multiple ways, whether it's on the outside, as an inline blocker, as an H-back. So there's a huge emphasis there, and I know Grimes talked about this in one of his early interviews. He sometimes wants to have 2 tight ends on the field. And in order to do that, you better recruit well, because you're going to have quality guys out there for that position.
It seems like, Grayson, tight end is a big spot right now, especially with this new staff coming in to a program that hasn't necessarily utilized a tight end in the passing game over the past few years. Aside from that spot, though, is there another position that you look at and say, okay, Baylor's about to revolutionize how this position group plays?
Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of start from the quarterback spot, because I think that's where everyone has question marks. And obviously coming into this year, I think we're going to find out a lot about what this staff wants from the quarterback position, just based on who they end up going with as the starter. But I honestly wish Grimes had gotten here last year, because in the 2021 class, there were probably 8 guys who were in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the country. Kyron Drones was in that group in the state of Texas, but there was a lot of options there. So you were basically picking on, certain attributes that you wanted to see. In the state of Texas this year, there are 3 guys who are above the rest, and that's the 3 guys that everyone wants. Quinn Ewers out of South Lake Carroll, Connor Weigman out of Bridgeland, and of course, Cade Klubnik out of Austin Westlake. So those are the 3 guys, so there's not a whole lot separating, so you're not really going to get to see exactly what the staff wants at the position until they start offering outside of those 3 guys. So that's going to be interesting to watch. I don't really have a pinpoint or a feel for it quite yet. I will say I do believe pocket presence and the ability to move in the pocket is going to be of paramount importance. If you watched what Zach Wilson did at BYU, his ability to move through the pocket, get away from sacks, create plays downfield because he was able to extend plays was a big deal. So I do think that will be a big part of it. If you look at the other positions, though, running back, wide receiver, I think it's going to be very similar to what the previous staff did. They want big, long athletes who can go make plays downfield, but you also want guys who are more, I guess you'd say, gadget types, guys who you can get the ball to in space that can make people miss. And with Craig Williams probably not going to be there at least until late in the season, they need more guys like Squirrel, guys who can make plays like that. And I know he's a true running back, but he makes people miss in space. They need more guys like that, and I think you'll see them really address that in the 2022 class.
Grayson, you mentioned quarterbacks, and one of the questions that we had on the show and kind of debated around the last week is, should Baylor tap into the transfer portal for another guy to add to that room? And I know there's not much left. I mean, most of the transfer portal at this point has kind of been just gutted, but was there ever a chance for Baylor to add another arm, or did they even need one?
I think when you saw that everyone was returning, as far as Gary Bohannon and Jacob Zeno and Blake Shapen, of course, and then Kyron Drones coming in, I think it eliminated that need. And I know Jeff Grimes mentioned he's going to look to upgrade any position. So, for instance, if JT Daniels entered the portal, at this time last year, he entered the portal, he ends up at Georgia. I mean, that's a different kind of talent, if you know what I mean. That's a guy who has proven capabilities and is a proven potential NFL guy. So, yes, if someone like that entered the portal, I think they would definitely give it a look. If it's not a sure thing starter, I don't really see the need for it. They haven't really gone out and showed me anything on the trail that makes me believe that they're interested in that. And so, I think they're going to roll with the arms that they have. And honestly, I think that's a good thing because I think it's going to be a really, really good competition, and you're definitely going to see the cream rise to the top during this, spring camp and then, of course, fall.
With your analysis of that quarterback room, too, were you honestly surprised to see that all 4 guys stuck around for this offseason to come back next year?
I was. I'll admit it, I definitely was. I did not think that all 4 would be back. I guess that's where I would be with it, but I actually am pretty happy that all of them made the decision to come back, though, because I do think if you look through the portal, guys, it's tough. I mean, a lot of guys are not finding landing spots. A lot of guys have entered the portal and didn't really think it through, and now there's nowhere to go because a lot of schools are filled up and a lot of schools don't want to take transfers if they don't have to. And so, it's a tough situation. So I'm glad they all came back. And like I said, I think that's going to provide a very healthy competition in the spring.
When you have 4 guys at the caliber that Baylor does, too, in that room, does it feel like if you don't move at least one of the 4 to a different position to contribute this year, you are maybe wasting talent or leaving something on the bench that needs to be on the field?
Yeah, you could say that. You could definitely say that, but a lot of that comes down to preference of the player as well, though. I mean, sometimes players don't want to move positions and they would rather try it out elsewhere at the quarterback spot, and that could very well be an option. I would say that if you look at their quarterback room, though, I think the only one that you could really say, oh, man, he could definitely play another position is Gary Bohannon. I mean, the other guys are pretty much, I would say, true quarterbacks and don't quite have that elite athleticism. I mean, you got to remember, Gary had offers from, Georgia and Alabama to go play linebacker. So, I mean, he's a very good athlete, and he would be the only one, I think, that you could, possibly think could move positions. But I just don't see that happening. I think he wants to be a quarterback.
with those guys too. And what I want to do, Grayson, really is update this week by week, having you on, and it's where those guys are in the quarterback competition. It has already been noted that all four will compete for the job. You have two of the older guys, and then Shapen and Drones that'll compete as well. Is there any separation right now? And I know this will change, but do you see separation whatsoever in that group of four?
Zero separation. I don't think that. I don't think anyone is doing it justice if they honestly tell you right now that they are ready to go and ready to say who is in the lead of this competition. You got to remember, Jeff Grimes has to see these guys play. I mean, Sean Bell has seen these guys play, but now he's got a totally different perspective because he's the quarterback's coach. So I think he's going to have a much different say. And honestly, they're also still trying to figure out what kind of offense they're going to run and still putting together that entire playbook, which takes time. And so I think they're going to go out there and they're going to say, here's our playbook. Here's what we want to do. Whoever can run it the best, that's who we're going with, because I think that's what they're going to end up needing to do, because we know this offense needs to take a turn this year.
With the coaching staff, you kind of alluded to Sean Bell there being quarterback coach. The things that have moved around, switched around, does it feel like Baylor got their due from an X's and O's new coach standpoint, but kept the recruiting base on the staff?
Yeah, they definitely did. And I wouldn't even say it's the recruiting base is the big thing. I would say it's more the relationship with the players. I mean, Sean Bell's staying is absolutely massive because those quarterbacks definitely feel a sense of comfort with him. They know him. I know Jacob Zeno in particular, he played a big part in Zeno's recruitment. Yeah. I mean, he was in his living room, selling a pitch and recruiting. And so that's a huge deal, in my opinion, when you have a relationship with a coach like that. From a recruiting perspective, yes, because Sean Bell has already built some relationships. But I think that this staff is probably a little bit better at recruiting, the offensive staff, that is, with Jeff Grimes and Eric Mateos. I think they're going to do a fantastic job. So could possibly see an upgrade there. And I do think it's all set up for this 2022 class to be one of the better ones Baylor's ever had, honestly.
Grayson, before we dive wholeheartedly into that 2022 and 2023 stretch, as we're already looking ahead, 2021's not over. It's crazy to know that still, almost into February, teams are still picking up guys, and even today, 2 McCaffreys have entered the transfer portal. Is there still a lot to be desired out of the 2021 class, even when it comes to transfers?
Yeah, so the 2021 class as far as freshmen is, I don't want to say that there's zero chance Baylor takes someone next week in the 2021 class as a freshman, but it's definitely looking like they might just settle with the guys that they have and be very comfortable with it. I just haven't seen a whole lot of traction with guys in the 2021 class that they really, really are feeling pressure to land. So maybe 1, maybe 2 pop up in the next week, but I think they're very happy with where they're at with the freshman side of things. Now, there's 2 other sides to this 2021 class that you got to look at. The junior college route. So the JUCO season got moved to the spring, which is very, very tough for colleges, because how do you evaluate a kid if they didn't play? And mostly JUCO is all about film and recommendation from the coaches there, to be honest with you, to kind of see what kind of athlete they are, what kind of person they are, and what kind of player they can be at the next level. And so I think Baylor is waiting to see kind of how that unfolds. I know Jeremiah Crawford, kid out of Kansas, is a guy who they're looking at. He's in his 2nd year as a JUCO, and he is a guy that they've paid attention to, but they need to see this season from him. They need to see him take that step in the right direction. So that's an area they're still looking at. I do believe they could take a JUCO or 2 through February, after February, because of course the signing period opens on the 3rd, but it doesn't close till I think August 1st. So I mean, there's tons of room in there for JUCOs to make decisions, and that kind of goes in line with grad transfers as well. There are tons of guys in the transfer portal. We know for a fact Baylor will take 1, maybe 2 more offensive linemen from the transfer portal. It just seems like it's heading in that direction with kind of the options that are out there. So it's going to be a long waiting process. And I hate saying that as someone that covers recruiting, and I know fans want to see immediate rewards, but there are some recruiting battles out there that are going to be pivotal for the 2021 season for this Baylor program, and they lie in the transfer portal.
That's unbelievable. That Baylor already, you don't know yet exactly what you'll have next year thanks to the transfer portal and how volatile that has been this season. And when you talked about offensive linemen, does it seem like Baylor right now, that's their main target from position standpoint to go get guys?
Oh, it's not even close. Wow. I mean, they might take another defensive lineman. Maybe they could maybe use some depth there. Maybe take one guy if it's the right guy. Maybe take a linebacker. It's just kind of a best available type. But at the end of the day, the priority is offensive line. They will not take another position if they don't feel like they can't fill the offensive line or they need that spot to fill the offensive line. So this is going to be very, very interesting. But like I said, I do believe they'll take at least one, probably two offensive linemen with the way things are heading. And I don't think you can say that about any other position 100%.
Is it safe to say, too, with the recruiting mantra of this staff right now, that they will not take a player they don't necessarily need? They're not going to waste any spots on this roster?
I think that's safe to say. I think, it's so hard to say, though, because in 2022, let's say they take a guy who they feel like is a riser, a guy with a very high ceiling, and then comes his senior year and maybe he doesn't quite live up to those expectations. Well, then, you kind of get unlucky in that regard, potentially. And that happens all over the country. It happens all the time. But I do believe that if they take a player, it's going to be because they 100% believe in that player. And also on the flip side of that, if they offer a player, it's because they 100% want to take that player as a commitment, that they're willing to add that player on the roster whenever they want, if they are offered.
Also, Grayson, this kind of flips back to really Matt Rule's last class. 8th in the Big 12, only had 18 guys. Not that Baylor needed an all-star, rock-star class, but with a recruiting rank at 8 out of 10 teams, only 18 guys coming in, does it feel like Baylor will feel that effect coming up in 2021 in a negative or maybe even a positive way?
So, Drake, I assume you're talking about the 2020 class,
2020,
right?
That's correct. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, yeah, you're good. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page there. And yeah, Aranda came in and filled a little bit of that class at the end, if you remember correctly. Guys like, I believe, Mike Harris and Blake Shapen came in a little bit late and was able to land some guys and really help bolster that class. But that class really, people are going to look back and say, wow, that class was detrimental and all of those things. But you got to remember, Baylor was in great shape to land probably the two most prized possessions in that class. Princely Umanmielen, who ended up at Florida, and Alfred Collins, who ended up at Texas, who is just a sensational freshman, had a massive season, had that one-handed interception in the Colorado game in the Alamo Bowl. So those two guys, if you put those two guys in that class, yeah, Baylor's looking just fine, but it didn't happen that way. So yes, they are feeling some of those effects. And I think the area that you're seeing it is the defensive line. Clearly, you lose your two top targets, your priorities who you thought you were going to land, didn't land them. You're definitely feeling the effects of that. And you also lost James Sylvester to the transfer portal last week. So you really didn't do a very good job on the defensive line in that class. And then the offensive line is just a position that's been hurting at Baylor for a while. So I wouldn't put all the blame on that class specifically. Because they just really need a few more classes of depth, to be perfectly honest with you. But the rest of that class, I think you might look back and say, man, there are some guys that can really play in that class. Just looking through it, I have huge expectations for guys like Drake Dabney, Gavin Byers, Mose Jeffrey, Blake Shapen has gotten a ton of buzz, as many people have talked about him. Tay McWilliams, got to see him some. So I do think there's some hidden sleepers in that class that people may not know about this year and they didn't know about last year, but I think you're going to know about them in the near future, especially as all these seniors leave after this next season.
Grayson, as you kind of put in perspective this 2022 class now that Baylor's begun to build, the name Carmelo Jones comes up in the last week, a huge get that really, well, I'll ask you, does it seem like that is the snowball that will help build a big recruiting class for Baylor in 2022?
Yeah, I think it's the start of the momentum a little bit. I think definitely landing someone like Carmelo is a good start. I mean, he didn't have any offers. Baylor was his first offer. They got in on him early. He was extremely excited about it. Ends up committing to Baylor, and it's a great start. You already have Kyan Roberts-Day out of Missouri, so an out-of-state commit as well. But I think the big snowball, honestly, though, is going to come when the visits are allowed. Because right now it's just tough because the 2022 kids, I think, are in this process where they're believing that they're going to go take visits and that they're going to get the opportunity to go on visits and things like that, which hopefully does happen. And if it does, I think that will help Baylor immensely. But again, the signing dead period doesn't end until April, so they're going to have to do some more work till then, and I do believe they will. But I'm not ready to say, oh, there's just going to be a ton of commits, because I think it's still a little bit early days right now for these offers and kind of the relationships that are being built.
From what you've seen in the 2022 class early on, is it shaping up as most do? Does it seem like this is going to be a full class for Baylor, or could they see another 2020-esque year?
Yeah, I actually think this class is going to be fairly big. I think you look at this year's class, there's only, 17, 18, 2021 commits, I believe. I think this class will be a little bit bigger. I think you'll be pushing that 20, 21, 2022, 22 number, somewhere around there. And I really think that this is an opportunity for this Baylor staff to really make an impact on their recruiting trail. They've gotten off to nice early leads. The previous staff built a good relationship with a lot of guys in the state. And there's a lot of positions, honestly, that are very deep in the state of Texas that sometimes just simply aren't. And I mean, you look at the offensive line in this class, I mean, getting off to good starts with guys like Hunter Erb and Corey Hendricks, that's a big deal. Hunter Erb just got an A&M offer yesterday, but they're a month and a half after Baylor. So Baylor still has a shot there to land a guy like that, a high-quality guy. So I just think there's depth in the state. And there's depth at positions of need, the offensive line, linebackers, which Baylor's going to need to replenish next year, and in the secondary. So I think it's a very good class, very talented one, and I think Baylor's going to do a great job at finding those hidden gems early as well with the additions they made to the recruiting staff.
Grace, I know I'm backtracking here a little bit, but it seemed like just on Twitter, being on Twitter in the last week or so, a preferred walk-on splurge. Just everywhere I looked, it was PWO here, PWO there. What do you make of that? How do you help somebody, the casual football fan, sift through those? And are there any big splashes that may end up happening through those preferred walk-ons that have been given out in the last week or so?
Yeah, so last night, I just will tell a quick story because it was really funny. Baylor got a PWO commitment, but the tweet was not very obvious at all. It was just, I'm committing to Baylor, I'm flipping from USD, and I'm going to go be a Baylor Bear and committing to the Bears. And so I'm there freaking out like, how did I just miss this? Baylor got a commitment in the 2021 class, and I had no idea about it. Something's wrong here. And it ends up being a walk-on commitment. So I thought that was kind of funny. I was about to start typing up an article and everything, trying to get, rushing late at night, but it ended up just being a walk-on offer. But you're exactly right, Drake. I was exchanging messages with David Smoak last night, just talking about how, man, they're just sending out PWO offers like crazy right now, and it's very different than the previous staff. I mean, there's so many offers out right now, and I don't even think we know about all of them, all of the PWOs that are out there, because that's not really a focus of mine all the time. But they've definitely made it a priority, and it's very cool to see. And there's some high quality guys out there, to be perfectly honest with you, that Baylor is trying to land. I mean, Michael Taff out of Austin Westlake. I mean, he's a two-time state championship defensive MVP, and Baylor offered him a PWO. I guess last week he's going to get a ton of PWOs, but yeah, it's very unique situation. There's some, like I said, very good players. I mean, Round Rock's all-time sack leader for a season got a PWO offer from Baylor. I mean, his name's Luke Dodds, but it's just funny because, I mean, there's high quality guys that people just miss on. And to be honest with you, I'm shocked that those smaller schools haven't offered a guy like that. you can never have too many guys that can get after the quarterback. So hopefully schools like Incarnate Word and Texas State and SFA are kind of looking at that and going, oh man, maybe we should take a chance on this kid, because there's some talent in the state of Texas that gets underlooked all the time.
Absolutely. Now, for Baylor in 2023 as well, and I know this is really looking long-term, but you mentioned that number, 2023. It's crazy that we're already talking about that class, but early on, what are you seeing already from that group, and does it feel like the Baylor coaching staff is not wasting any time in already talking to those guys?
Yeah, they've put out probably, I'd have to do the math a little bit, but I think since Grimes got to Baylor, I think they've put out 6 offers in the 2023 class. And the funny part about it is that none of them have come on the offensive side of the ball. Wow. So I don't really know that it's a huge emphasis that Grimes has brought with him, but I can tell you on the defensive side, it's very clear Baylor is very excited about the 2023 class because they've offered already 7 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 cornerbacks, a few athletes as well who mainly play defense. They offered a local kid a couple months ago, McCall Harrison Pilot out of Temple. He's a good player. He can kind of play both ways. He's probably going to be an athlete on the offensive side though. But yeah, they're clearly placing an emphasis on that. And I can tell you, looking at what they've done already as far as the offers go, it's very clear in the 2023 class, they're trying to address the defensive line. And I think that this staff is definitely going to place an emphasis on winning up front on both sides of the football. And Matt Rule did that as well at Baylor. If you look at the defensive line classes he brought in, he brought in guys who you want to walk off the bus with, guys who look like Alabama athletes. Now, they don't move like Alabama athletes, but they have that size, if you know what I mean, right? To where you're going to get out there and you're going to intimidate your opponent. And that looks like what Dave Aranda and staff are trying to do with the defensive end, defensive tackle, and nose tackle position. They want to make sure they have some mass there. I think the hope would be all 3 of those positions are nearing 300 pounds. That allows you to get more creative with the jack linebacker position and, of course, the star position, because you're losing a little bit of weight at both of those spots. But it's definitely clear. You look at the guys they've offered. I mean, Zach Chapman out of Fort Bend Marshall, David Hicks out of Morton Ranch and Katy, Avion Carter out of Tascosa. Those 3 guys, all 3 of those guys could be high 4-star prospects in the 2023 class, and I actually expect that, and they're all massive defensive line targets. So I think that's the main focus. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention just a guy that Brian Etheridge and I have gotten to see a couple times. His name's Christian Brathwaite. He's out of Cy Ranch High School in that Cypress area. He's a linebacker, and he is a freak show, Drake. He is a guy who is going to have offers from schools all over the entire country. He's going to be a household name very, very soon. And Baylor got in on him very early, where it was his first offer. And I truly think, he's going to wait a little bit, because 2023s usually don't make decisions, at this time. But I do think Baylor's very high on his list, and he's a guy who could end up being one of the better Baylor lands in a long time. So he's just one to definitely keep an eye on. But they've gotten off to good starts with a lot of these 2023 prospects.
Man, 2023, tough to believe we're already talking about that class, but Baylor coaching staff, they're making their moves as early as possible, and hopefully that pays off in the end. Now, kind of reverting as we wrap up here back to this season and the 2021 class. I know I bounced around a bit. Baylor right now is 5th in the Big 12 in recruiting rankings per 24/7 Sports, but between Oklahoma State at 3, West Virginia, Baylor, and Kansas, there's not a lot of separation in those 4 schools. What are the odds that Baylor is able to wrap up this 2021 class, maybe a couple more of those high school guys and really the transfer market, to finish with the 3rd best class this season? Is that possible at all?
I'm going to say no. And it's not really it's just such an unfair comparison, because I do think those schools might end up taking another 2021 prospect, which sometimes bounces the rankings up a little bit. A lot of times they don't add in all the grad transfers as swiftly as you would want to really come to the very end, because obviously the signing day is on February 3rd, so that's when the recruiting rankings technically end for the class. So I don't see it happening. I think TCU is probably going to take another guy or two in their class. West Virginia might do the same. So I could see Baylor still finishing in the top half of the Big 12, which should definitely be the expectation. But I'm not sure if they can climb up to number 3. I think that's just a little tough to ask with the class already being as full as it is, and just kind of where we're at currently as far as my expectations on the recruiting trail for next week.
And then overall, how good do you feel about this 2021 group? Is this a solid group that Baylor fans can be excited about, especially in comparison to recruiting classes in the past?
Yeah, definitely. I think you look at what they were able to do. It's very balanced. They have a good offensive line group. I think people are going to need to pay attention to that offensive line group. Connor Heffernan, Tate Williams, Ryan Lingyell. That's a very solid trio right there to go along and match with the guys that they add from the transfer portal. Of course, already added Grant Miller from Vanderbilt. So that's already a great start to the class as well. The secondary got addressed in a huge way. Romario Noel, Devin Lemire, Cisco Caston, and of course, Tevin Williams. And then, of course, wide receiver, which was another area that they absolutely had to address in this class, and they did a great job of it. And then you look at just individual talents. I mean, Kyron Drones, that's an individual talent who is very, very good at a premium position. Tyrone Brown and Jackie Marshall have to get people excited at the linebacker spot as well. So overall, a lot of depth, a lot of balance. I think if you look at it, the only area you kind of wish they would have added a couple more is probably the defensive line and the offensive line. But at the end of the day, I think they're happy with the number part.
Absolutely. And then I was going to let you go here, but I've got it. You mentioned Tate Williams, who we love on this show. He came on a couple weeks ago and was an absolute star.
Great kid.
Is there a chance that a guy like that plays day one? Is he going to have a shot for playing time as soon as he steps on campus?
Man, I love Tate, and I think his mindset and his motor make that a possibility, but I don't see it. He's playing basketball right now. He's 265 pounds. He's probably, let's be honest, playing basketball, he's probably going to be around 255 after basketball season. You just lose weight like crazy when you play a sport like that. So he's going to have to build that back up, which I believe he can. But I would much rather see him redshirt. I will honestly say I think the guy that actually has the best chance of playing day one is actually Connor Heffernan. And the reason for that is because he's an early enrollee. He's a guy who's going to be on campus, going to be learning the system early, going to be training in the weight room. But on the flip side, I hope none of them play. I think it's a bad sign if you're having freshmen have to go out there and play unless they're 5-star guys, which none of the 3 currently are, even though I think the upside is there.
Yeah. Well, Grayson, before we get you off here, we got our Bear games as well to play today. Baylor's second best bracket. We're wrapping this puppy up. We're at the Final Four, and today's matchup, the play-in, the 7-seed Seth Russell somehow, because the fans are insane, has made his way to the Final Four. I don't know how, but he's a top 4 player, I guess, the last decade if you ask the fans. Today, it's Seth Russell and Corey Coleman. Who are you going with out of that matchup?
Yeah, I loved what Seth Russell did. In that 2015 season, that offense was just unbelievable. But you know who made that offense go? Corey Coleman. This is going to Corey Coleman, the best wide receiver I've seen in a long time. He was so good in college, so electric. And that first, 7 games of the year, he had 18 touchdowns or something. Just insane. He was insanity. So going Corey Coleman for sure.
Along with that, if you could make a movie with this Baylor basketball team, what are you going to title it?
Wow. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh. Oh man, you're catching me on the spot here. Let's do. I'm struggling, Drake.
I know it's not easy. This is one of the tougher games because it's got to be. The thing is we needed a game that has a positive spin to it, and typically, this is you really can't go wrong.
Yeah. Let's go. Bets over youngins. Let's go with that.
Bets over youngins. Coming to a movie theater near you, the Baylor men's basketball story 2020. Grayson Grudaver, thanks so much for joining us today on Up Tempo, talking Baylor recruiting and a little bit of Bear games.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Pleasure, as always, to have Grayson on the show, and we love the analysis that he's able to bring to the table, considering that stuff is inside information coming about Baylor's future, the future of the Baylor football program. In a 2021 class that is number 5 right now in the Big 12, like he said, it's going to be a struggle to be at number 3, to land at number 3 when it's all said and done, but they're right there. Middle of the pack in the Big 12 with 4 other schools that are all neck and neck in this recruiting class, and Baylor is still making waves with the transfer portal. And TCU only has 13 players so far in this class. They're 9th out of 10 teams in the Big 12. We're going to hit an Armstrong's Minute, a break. When we come back, Livia Kraus joins us from the Baylor women's tennis team. She's going to talk a big win this past weekend and her career as a Baylor Lady Bear. Don't go anywhere. This is Up Tempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech in Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen, gets to the baseline, off balance, he's got it! 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung. A 1-point game. McClung floats one. Just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13 under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and 2-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
All right, welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Tuesday, everybody, on Up Tempo. I am Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney, Cole, and Jack are with us today in studio. And now joining us is Livia Kraus from the Baylor women's tennis team. Livia, thanks so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you on, especially after a big weekend for the team. You guys knocked off number 20 Arizona State on the road in an ITA National Kickoff weekend. Walk me through that. That was a big win for you guys.
Yeah, we were supposed to play Texas first round, but then LSU had to back out because of COVID. So then we knew that we were going to play Arizona State, and we were just very excited. We never played them before, so we didn't know the girls on the team, but we just took it like every other match. We were prepared. We were ready to go, and yeah, we just wanted to show what we got this season.
Absolutely. Now, Livia, let's start before we even get into this season and really the last fall and before that with COVID. Starting here, you're originally from Germany, correct?
Yes. My parents live in Germany. I was born in Austria, but I live in Germany.
Wow. So we had Konstantin Franzen on the show earlier, who also is Germany, told us there's a whole pipeline going on. How did you get to Baylor from Germany?
So college tennis is a big thing, and it's becoming more popular in Germany. So the coaches, like Joey, he just texted me on Facebook, and that's how he recruited me. And in Germany, you can't study and play tennis at that level at the same time. So I knew that if I wanted to play tennis at a high level, I need to go to college, and Baylor was the perfect fit.
So you said he messaged you on Facebook, which is awesome. I'm a big Facebook proponent. Joey Scrivano, shout out that guy. And really, was it from that moment? Did you look at Baylor and decide, okay, I like it there, or were you just looking for anywhere to play college tennis?
I looked at different universities as well. I got many different offers, but then Joey was the first coach to actually come visit me in Germany. And when he came on a visit, like everything that he told me was just perfect. It was exactly what I'm looking for. And Joey's just an amazing guy. Like his personality is great. And I know that he's a great coach. So I was like, okay, yeah, I wanna go there.
So obviously, Coach Joey Scrivano, we've had on this show before, is so dynamic, such a great person to talk to and be around. Was it interesting? How did he fit in the German culture, coming all the way over there to visit you? Did he seem like a fish out of water overseas?
He fit in fine. I think sometimes he was a little lost, but yeah, no, perfectly well. Yeah, he liked it there as well.
Wow, that's awesome. We are big fans of him on this show, without a doubt. And I want to ask you too, talking about your team, the staff here, Isabella Harvison. She was on the show earlier as well, coming to Baylor from the Alabama program. Lived in Spain for a long time, Houston, bounced all around. How big is it to have her as a part of the program? And have you gotten to become close with her yet?
Yeah, I have practiced with her already, and I've talked with her multiple times, and she seems like an amazing girl, and I know that she'll fit into this team perfectly. Like in our team, we look for having the right people on the team. Like we look at their personality and see if it matches, and you can already tell, like she's all about tennis. She loves playing, she loves practicing, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So yeah, she'll be a great addition, and she's a great player. Everyone sees it in practice and the way she acts.
How about this, too? Another name that was added pretty recently as the associate head coach after a 7-year stint at Tulsa. We had her on the show as well, Lenka Brusova. Coach Brusova, how much have you gotten to know her? What is your relationship like with her? And really, I know it's loaded. How cool is it that she is the associate head coach, a part of the staff?
It's amazing. I've met Lenka before she came to Baylor. She was here a few times just visiting Joey, coming to football games, so we got to meet her. And then when I played some tournaments, I met her as well. And then when I found out that she's actually going to be our coach this season, I was so excited because having a person like that on our team, being able to learn from someone like that, that's just amazing. That's exactly what we need. She has so much experience, and she knows exactly how we feel on court in every situation. And I mean, she has won so much, and like Joey constantly talks about her and what she added to the team. And yeah, like we just look up to her. We want to be like her when we leave.
Wow. She was an All-American at Baylor, an unbelievable tennis athlete that made a splash across the country, and now Lenka Brusova as the assistant coach. So for you, Olivia, with last season and COVID, I mean, you guys were really starting a stretch, getting hot, getting into a groove, and then COVID hits and the season's kind of dropped out from underneath you. What was that like when you found out that you wouldn't play tennis again last spring?
I mean, we were all pretty shocked. Like, we didn't really think it was going to happen. I remember we were eating lunch together, and then all of a sudden we got the message that spring break is going to be extended. And then we just had to stay at home. And then we got the message, okay, we can't go play at Washington. And then all the matches got canceled. So then, like, I had to fly home to Germany, so because Germany was going to be in lockdown, so I had to get home fast so I could enter the country before it locks down. And then it was so fast, like, I couldn't really react to it at all. And it was just so sad because we've been playing so well. We've had such a great time last season in the beginning, and we just wanted to keep it going. So, yeah, it was sad, but we had to make the best out of it.
When it comes to the seniors from last year's team in the spring, when that all went down, when COVID-19 hit, did it feel like you may not play with them again? And what were your emotions when you were really going through that time?
It was weird because I didn't really have a chance to say goodbye to them, like, because everything happened so fast. I remember then Jess flew and then I flew away. Like, we didn't really get time to say goodbye, but in the end, like, I knew that we were going to see each other again. I felt like they were going to come back and have another season. Like, I know them so well. I knew that they were not done with college tennis and they want to achieve more.
And then coming back to in the fall, when you guys get to come back to Waco, back to Baylor, and you reunite with your team again, what was that like the first time you guys were all in the same room?
It was just amazing. It was... Yeah, we haven't seen each other for months at that point, and it was just so good being back with all the girls and the coaches. It's like we're family, so not being able to see each other for such a long time, it was, just sad. And then we FaceTimed all the time and talked and had Zoom meetings with everyone so that we keep in touch and update everyone on what's happening. But yeah, it's like the family was reunited again.
And then getting to play with them in the fall. First time you guys hit the court together. Were you rusty when you got out there, or just so excited to be back in a Baylor uniform and playing tennis?
We were just so excited to be back and playing in the Baylor clothes on our courts with everyone, with the coaches. And also being able to compete in the fall. Like, no one expected it. When we came back in the fall, we didn't even know if we're allowed to practice or anything. And then, like, after a while, we were starting to practice, and we were allowed to do gym, and then we were even allowed to compete. I mean, it's amazing that was able to happen, even though COVID was going on.
Working through that, too, do things feel different playing tennis in COVID-19 conditions? Is it just different this year, odd in any way, or does it feel pretty normal to be back out there with the team?
It feels pretty normal. I mean, the only thing that changed is that when we scream and when we cheer on the other girls, we have to wear masks. And sadly, because of the masks, we can't be that loud. But other than that, like, everything's the same. And it stayed the same.
Also, with your season this year, kind of looking at your schedule up and down, what you guys have been able to do, the sweep against Prairie View A&M, and then Rice, the win against Arizona State. Are you happy with how this squad has started the spring season in 2021?
Yes, very, very happy. I think it couldn't have gotten better. I mean, of course, we wanted to win against Texas, but on the other side, it was also just a great opportunity for us to play such a good team early on in the spring, because now when we go back on court today, we know exactly what we have to work on the next weeks so that we're prepared to play a team like that again.
Coming off of that loss against Texas, does that make the match against Abilene Christian this Friday just even better? Are you excited to get back out there, compete again, and have a chance to win?
Yeah, it's just amazing after loss, being able to just go out a few days later and being able to compete against such a team. I mean, we're all just so excited. Now we're just going to practice so hard the next day so that we can do our best out there on Friday and Sunday.
With that Texas loss, too, you guys will see UT 2 more times this season. Is there anything different that you plan to do? Any adjustments to be made to beat Texas later on this year? Do you think you guys will have their number when you see them again?
I think we do. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here. I mean, our goal is to beat them this year and to be Big 12 champion this season. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to go on the court and do a little things different, work on some new things so that when we play them again, we're ready and we know exactly what to do to be able to beat them.
You talked about Big 12 championship. I'll ask you this first. How close is this team to being Big 12 champions? Do you think this year that's a possibility?
It's definitely a possibility for us this year. I mean, if we continue working as hard as we're doing right now, if our culture stays as great as it is, then I feel like nothing can stop us.
And then, Livia, on top of that, the ultimate goal for a team when it comes to hardware is winning a national championship. This squad is top 20, top 15 in the country. You already showed you could knock off a top 20 team in Arizona State on Saturday. How close is this team to winning a national championship?
I would say the same. Like, if we just stick to our plans, everything is achievable. Like, there's not a team out there that will, completely demolish us. That's not possible at all. Like, we're so close to the best teams in the country. We just have to go out there and show them. And the more matches we play against greater teams, the better we will get, the more experience we will have. And I mean, we have so many great players on the team, so much experience, like Angie, Jess, our super seniors. They know exactly what they have to do. And then Ali and Mel, I mean, they redshirted the first year, but they're amazing players and they're all about the team and all about tennis. I mean, yeah, it's amazing.
I have some more questions, Livia, from just a personal standpoint. So like I said, we had Konstantin Franzen on the show last week who talked to us about being from Germany and his transition to Baylor. How closely do you know, does your team, the women's tennis team, work with the men's team? Is there any competitive rivalries? Does it feel like you guys are pretty interlinked, or is there a lot of separation between the two programs?
No, we're pretty interlinked, and when we play, they come out and support us, and when they have a match, we go and support them. I mean, we're one big team. We're not like women's tennis and men's tennis. It's just the tennis program. So whenever we can help and support them, we do that, and whenever we need their help and support, they do that for us. And also our coaches, they make sure that we're connected and that we're one family and that we work together.
I love it. That's so Baylor. That's so Baylor, the connection and the relationship that you guys have together. And then one of the things that Konstantin talked about with us was the adjustment coming from Germany to not just the United States, but Texas, which is like a country in itself. It's just this strange, big place. When you first came over here, was it a culture shock right away, or did you feel like you fit in and got the cowboy hat and the boots and ready to rock?
Sadly, I don't have cowboy boots and not a hat yet, but I want to get some before I leave Baylor. But yeah, I mean, the only difference that I really notice is the people. Like, the people in Texas, they're all so nice. They're so open to meeting people from different countries. So it was so easy to adjust because everyone was so friendly, wanted to get to know me. So I immediately felt like I was welcomed here.
The Waco atmosphere in Baylor as a whole, too, from just a societal standpoint, what is the most different aspect about living here in comparison to living back home with your family in Germany?
I don't know. I think just here in Waco or Texas generally, it's like everything's bigger, I feel like, and more spread out. I know that's like typical to say everything's bigger in Texas, but like it's true. Like I'm from a small city. I live in the vineyards at home. Like I walk everywhere, and here it's just like completely different.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I can't imagine living in another country and really just uprooting life to move somewhere else, and to know that you did that to play at Baylor and be a part of the tennis program is so awesome. And kind of on top of that, and with that, the culture here and being at Baylor, does it feel like, you talked about in Germany it'd be so tough to get an education and play sports at the same time. At Baylor, does it feel like you can do that this program prepares you to not only get a good education, but also play collegiate tennis? Yeah, for sure. I mean, Joey, he's a coach, or also Danny and Lenka. They're coaches that try to prepare us not only for college life, but also for life after college. So I know that when I graduate from Baylor, I am ready to go into the world and do whatever I want to do. Like I would like to play tennis professionally. And I know that Baylor has prepared me to do so. I have grown so much as an individual. I have become so independent. So yeah, Baylor definitely prepared me for this. And then what are your plans after Baylor? Do you plan to go pro or come back and coach, or really what's your outlook, Livia? I don't have any certain plans right now, but I would definitely like to go play pro for a while at least, and then see how it works out if I'm good enough, and then maybe just continue studying a master's at home in Germany, or maybe coach or anything, just something that has to do with tennis, that's for sure. I love it, leaving the options open. Livia Kraus, thank you so much for joining us on Uptempo today, talking the current Baylor tennis season, years past, and your personal life as a Baylor Lady Bear. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Loved having her on. That's, man, Armstrong, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, the value of having players on the show and getting an inside look into what being an athlete at Baylor is like. And they've all said the same thing about being prepared for life. Baylor has the whole Champions for Life thing, and they back it up. They mean it. It's real. It's not just empty words. And Livia Kraus is an example of that. Great to have her on. And I love, too, it really is so interesting to me having players on that are from overseas that have made the jump to Baylor, that have decided, okay, I'm going to uproot my life because I love what Baylor has to offer. I've fallen in love with this university, the school, the program so much that you move from another country to come here. Like, imagine that. Just the pride you have to have in a university that attracts that kind of talent, those kind of people, and does it the right way at Baylor University. I'm telling you, like moments like that on the show almost every day when we have athletes on, they just make you proud to be where you are as a Baylor fan, as someone who follows Baylor and is associated and around the program. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Again, Livia Kraus joining us from the Baylor women's tennis team. All right, here's what we got. When we come back, Mike Boynton of Oklahoma State, the head coach of the Cowboys, following the game against Baylor on Saturday. He talked about the Bears and what he saw. On top of that, Kim Mulkey and the Lady Bears have a big game tonight at home against TCU. We'll hear from both of them and more. This is Uptempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech in Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen, gets to the baseline, off balance, he's got it! 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung, a 1-point game. McClung floats one, just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13-under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, J.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
MP Electric has developed a quality-oriented electrical contracting service in more than 20 years in the industry. Led by President Mark Perry, our electricians go through a 5-year apprenticeship program, are licensed by the state of Texas, and getting continuous education annually upon renewal. In great part, the success of MP Electric lies with its management and professional expertise of its employees. All of our employees share a dedication to quality and commitment to serving the needs of our customers. For new construction and remodels, parking lot, lighting and surge protection, landscape lights, security lights, troubleshooting and repairs. For industrial manufacturing, food and beverage, paper and publishing, heavy industry, cement and rock crushing plants, water distribution plants, and utilities. For 20 years, MP Electric has serviced industrial, commercial, and residential products. We do service right. MP Electric Inc. at 1890 Galaxy Road, Waco. MPElectricUSA.com.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel and Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel and Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel and Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneerboys.com.
Do you or your kids get nervous about going to the dentist? Stonewood Dental, Dr. Steve Childress, he can help.
I've spent a career taking care of patients who as children had bad experiences, and now they're adults that hate going to the dentist. If I get a kid at 3 years old and they come every 6 months and it's a happy experience, it's normal for them. Now they have an accident at 6 or 7 or 8 at school. Now they have a broken tooth or a trauma, and they have to come here. They're used to lights, they're used to water in their mouth, they're used to experience, they already trust us. It's amazing what we can do with that kid without it being a negative thing. But if I see a 6 or 7 or 8 year old that's never been to the dentist, and now they have a trauma or an unfortunate unexpected toothache, it's harder to do that for that kid and it not be somewhat of a negative experience. So bottom line is I try to teach kids and adults and teenagers and everybody the way I'd want my family treated, which is where it's a necessary part of life. You just take care of it. It doesn't have to be that big a deal.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back in Up Tempo. It is Tuesday. How about it? Big night tonight in women's basketball. 7 o'clock, Baylor and TCU in the Farrell Center. The Bears coming off of a huge win against Oklahoma on Saturday in which Nalissa Smith starred. Here's what I love. We're going to hear from Kim Mulkey later on in the show, too. She talked about Moon Ursin. Michelle Vogel wrote an article on ESPN that said that Moon Ursin is an X factor for Baylor, one of the hidden X factors. And Kim Mulkey, in her press conference, said Moon Ursin is not an X factor, that she has been here, she has proven, she's a big name, she's a senior that has led this team across 4 years of women's college basketball, and that she shouldn't be considered as an X factor, which, I don't know, Kim explains it better. She'll do that for us later. Right now, though, we got Mike Boynton of Oklahoma State following the Baylor game on Saturday. High praise that he had for Scott Drew and Scott Drew's squad. I could listen to Mike all day long. I love this guy's press conferences. He is awesome. He's absolutely awesome. And he had, again, high praise for the Baylor men's basketball team after they drubbed Oklahoma State in Stillwater on Saturday. This from Mike Boynton, the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Baylor's really good, first and foremost. They've been really good. Picked them to win the league because I thought they were really good, and they got experience, depth, and they got an All-American who stepped up and really, created the separation for them. I thought in the first half we did a really good job because we took care of the basketball. We didn't turn it over a ton. We got to the offensive glass and were able to score. We were able to keep them out of transition a little bit better. And then we did a really good job when we had them under control in the half court of getting to their shooters. And I think they only made 4 threes in the first half, and 2 of them were just on bad communication. So we did a really good job defensively and rebounding in the first half and taking care of basketball. And I thought for half of the second half, we actually hung in there. There's no doubt that part of it is, we were gassed. Right? We just weren't able to sustain it. And that's not an excuse, it's reality. And you to beat the best team, I think they're certainly in a conversation of being one of the best teams or the best team in the country. You got to play it for as close to 40 minutes as possible. 29 to 30 minutes isn't going to get it done, and give them credit for making a run when they did. But I was pleased with our guys' effort and focus coming off the shutdown, and I'm glad we're able to get back out there, and I believe they are, right? One of the best 2-3 teams, maybe the best team in the country. And if that's true, I also like our team a lot. I think there's a lot to be said about us being able to go out there without unquestionably our best player, and certainly another guy who has been a big contributor for us. And again, for 29 minutes, we were toe-to-toe, and they made a knockout blow to us here in the last, that 10-minute to 5-minute mark of the second half, and put us away. And that's a really good team to do. We fell short today.
You mentioned you got gassed. It's not an excuse. It's just a fact when you're shorthanded and you're playing a really good basketball team. They had that 19-1, 15-0 run there about the middle of the second half. Where did you think the gas, coming out, where did it show up the most? Closing out the threes, just in the pace of the game, going to the glass? Where from your viewpoint, did it hurt the most?
We let Jared Butler get loose 3 straight times.
Yeah.
And we kind of had him, we didn't have him bottled up, but we had him in front of us most of the night. And that's where it showed up and it started because we didn't take care of the basketball as well. They were able to get out in transition. And then we didn't communicate because we got guys defensively. So he's running the baseline against our zone, and our backline guys weren't talking. He makes 2 threes in the corner, but he also made a couple of them that were tough overhand. He did what really good players, All-Americans do. They step up and they make plays when their team needs them. But I just thought overall, we weren't as sharp offensively. We weren't as aggressive in transition. And part of it is it's hard to be aggressive in transition when you don't get stops. They're a little bit deflating when you play good defense and they make 1 or they make 2 or 3 in a row. And so I think a lot of areas, I have to go back and watch the film to really identify the run itself and what all the plays that were happening what happened there was. But a lot of it had to do with us just not communicating and then turn the basketball over and giving them easy ones in transition.
I guess, are you anxious to not look ahead of these games, but to go to Waco now on February 20th, hopefully full strength, seeing what you guys were able to do today?
I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm not looking forward to going to Waco today. That's for sure. All right? I am excited about what we can become. I am.
Back in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den, joined by Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney, Jack McKinley, Andrew Robertson, and Cole Andrews today.
McKenzie.
Hey, what did I say?
You said McKinley. Like the president?
Oh, I'm sorry,
It's
Jack.
actually
Give
McKenzie.
me a thumbs up, though. All right, we're going to stick with it. Jack McKinley. That's Jack's new nickname. That right there from Mike Boynton following Baylor's victory over Oklahoma State, 81-66 in Stillwater. Baylor improving to 14-0 one of just 4 remaining teams undefeated in the country and the only Power 5 team. First time they have started 14-0 since being number 1 in 2016, 2017. I'm not sure if the Bears will get to number 1, not for a little bit at least. Maybe with a couple wins over Texas, Kansas. I think they can do it in the regular season, but I don't think Gonzaga is losing again. Other game notes, quick hits from that one. 6th straight game in Stillwater that Baylor has won, 8-2 in their last 10 trips to face Oklahoma State. They were 3-24 all time prior to 2012 in Stillwater. Jared Butler moved to 28th on Baylor's all-time scoring list. He has 1,067 career points. Mark Vidal had his highest scoring game of his career, the 11th Baylor player to score in double digits this season. It was his first double-digit game. Outside of men's basketball, we're going to get to women's basketball in a second. Kim Mulkey and the Lady Bears play tonight against TCU. We are going to hear from Mulkey and Nalissa Smith a little bit later on in the show after our next break. Also, this in breaking news news across Baylor this week, Jared Butler, Naismith Trophy Player of the Week, the NCAA Basketball Player of the Week, and then Jared Butler representing Baylor as the Big 12 Basketball Player of the Week. A huge couple of games for Jared Butler to be Player of the Week in both of those. Track and field side, how about this? Baylor Track and Field in the NCAA Division I Women's Indoor Rating Index. So the indexes have been updated and released since the first 2 meets of the year have taken place. The women are number 12 in the country. The men are number 25 in the country. That now marks every spring sport that I can think of is ranked aside from baseball, who could very well be ranked. They're in the top 40, could very well be ranked in the top 25 coming into the season. And then as they hit the stretch of non-conference play. On Saturday, this from Baylor Stats by the Numbears. On Saturday, Jared Butler upped his career total points at Gallagher-Iba Arena to 55, okay? That's the most career points at Gallagher-Iba by any Baylor player ever. So Jared Butler that's his house now. He has that number. He's only the 6th visiting player in the last decade to score 55 or more at Gallagher-Iba. And I would say the Big 12 is not a huge one-and-done conference. Like that's a pretty tough feat. That's a pretty tough feat because the Big 12, you got guys that stick around for a while more so than a couple of the blue blood-filled conferences. How about Fran Fraschilla tweets, let's slide Baylor men's basketball Jared Butler into that National Player of the Year talk. We love Luka Garza, but let's see a little competition. Okay, guys. Luka Garza averages like 27 points per game and 10 rebounds, and Luka Garza's stats are stupid. He's the National Player of the Year, the Naismith Player of the Year. I'm not sure if Jared Butler can get there. I think he can. He's good enough to, but he's going to have to average 22 points or so and do something wild. I mean, his totals are good. Jared Butler is the Big 12 Player of the Year right now. Cade Cunningham looks good. He'll be in the conversation. You've also got Mac McClung. Obviously, he'll be in the conversation, but I think Jared Butler is a Big 12 Player of the Year. From a national standpoint, no, probably not right now because Luka Garza's numbers are just insane. And then how about this? This on the Baylor Lady Bear Twitter account. Point guard D.D. Richards, we'll hear from Kim Mulkey and Nalissa Smith on this. D.D. Richards has been thrown into the point guard role this season. Dejanay Carrington has been out, cannot take care of those. We don't know when Dejanay Carrington will be back. She will not be back tonight. However, Caitlin Pickell will likely be seen in a larger role. But in the last 3 games, D.D. Richards, 29 assists, 4 turnovers. Kim said it. Didi will do whatever we ask her to do, and that's exactly what she is putting on right now. The Lady Bears tonight at home against TCU. Also, leaders in the Big 12 at offensive rating, this in men's basketball. Number 1, Kai Jones from Texas men's basketball. Then listen to this. Big 12 leaders in offensive rating. Number 2, Adam Flagler. Number 3, Maceo Teague. Number 4, Jared Butler. Number 5, guess who? Jonathan Chachua, Everyday John. 4 of the 5 players in the Big 12 offensive rating list are Baylor Bears, numbers 2 through 5. Also today, 12 straight wins over the Sooners for the women's basketball program. Sherry Cole has been there 25 years, 505 wins for Sherry Cole. But the Oklahoma program reeling this season, and Baylor, another big win against them in the Farrell Center on Saturday night to extend their win streak against Sherry Cole to 12 straight games. Cole is one of the best to do it. She really, really is. But they're losing traction right now in that program, and maybe she may even be on the hot seat. Baylor softball today, it came out. The team is 22nd in the coaches poll preseason. The softball year kicking off in February pretty soon. The schedule has not been officially released, but Coach Glenn Moore told us on the show they will play Louisiana Lafayette in Louisiana in their first series of the year. Lafayette's going to be a top 10 team, I think, this year. That's what it's shaping up to look like. So it'll be a top 25 matchup in Louisiana between those two squads. And then in the other rankings, the ESPN.com USA softball poll, number 18 for the Baylor Lady Bears, the Baylor softball program, top 25 in both of those polls. As we saw, the D1 baseball poll, the Baylor men ranked somewhere around 37. They're a top 40 team with playoff. They're an NCAA tournament team. They're an NCAA tournament team this season, the Baylor men's baseball team, contrary to the women's baseball team. And then catch and shoot efficiency today, a poll released. The best half-court offenses in the country, points per shot during the 2020-2021 season, Baylor, number one in the country, ahead of Illinois, Wright State, Florida State, and Bryant University. Baylor, number one in that. So there are your quick hit stats and big news across Baylor sports over the past week. When we come back from Armstrong's Minute and a break, we will hear from Kim Mulkey and Nalissa Smith on their game tonight against TCU in the Farrell Center. This is Up Tempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech in Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen, gets to the baseline, off balance, he's got it! 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung, a 1-point game. McClung floats one, just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13-under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways, because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new Lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Engel at the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. It is Tuesday, game day for the Baylor Lady Bears. They take on TCU, the Lady Horned Frogs, tonight. Look, we are after the Baylor second best bracket. I've decided. People have asked, what's the next bracket? Because we got to have more. We got to have more. It's fan engaging content, and I've had a lot of people throw out ideas and recommendations, but I've got it. A 10-member bracket. Who wins in a fight amongst all Big 12 mascots? And I wholeheartedly know, objectively, whether I went there or didn't go there or hate them or love them, TCU loses in the first round. It doesn't matter who they play. Also, objectively, who can beat a Cyclone? Nothing. That's the obvious favorite and the obvious the odds-on loser of the bracket. TCU's the bottom seed without a doubt. But that's going to be that was a segue from the Baylor Lady Bears playing the Lady Horned Frogs. That's an atrocity. Like those are words that just shouldn't go together. Lady Horned Frogs. What does that even? It's a rant that I don't want to go down. This, the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. Keith says, that was fantastic in-depth interview with Grayson on recruiting. Great line of questioning. Excited to hear that'll be a recruiting segment. Killing it. Grayson Grundafer will join the show every week on Up Tempo, likely every Tuesday around noon to talk recruiting for a half hour or so, bring in his analysis on Baylor's recruiting each week as things continue to develop with the 2021 class and classes after that. Scotty B, the Baylor King, says, looking forward to the interview with Livia Krause, and then loved the interview with Livia Krause. Have enjoyed watching her play throughout her time at Baylor. A couple comments on here. What's up, Livia? Man, got a lot of Livia Krause fans up on there. How about that? And then tonight's ball game, Baylor and TCU, the game at home, 7 o'clock. If you can make it out, obviously do it. Lady Bears coming in as the number 1 team in the Big 12 right now, trying to take down TCU for the second time this season. TCU comes into the game. They had a good year last year. TCU was a tough team to deal with last season. Got to watch them play Baylor, cover the game between TCU and Baylor in the Farrell Center last year. And now tonight, the Horned Frogs come in on a downtrend. They're 7-6 this season, 2-6 in conference play. The Lady Bears 10-2, 5-1 overall in conference. Number 1 in the Big 12. TCU tonight, by the numbers, they've got it's Lauren Hurd. She has 1,300 career points. You shut down Lauren Hurd, and you're going to be all right. She's averaging 18.3 this season. No other starters are averaging more than 9.5 points per game. She is their best player without a doubt. The Frogs average 40 rebounds per game, which is 3rd in the Big 12. And then 21, that is the number of steals TCU collected against Incarnate Word, which is 4th most in single game history. Bad news, TCU! Baylor is not Incarnate Word. We've got Alyssa Smith and Kim Mulkey coming up. They're going to break down tonight's game for us and some of the COVID-19 things they're still dealing with in their program, the lack of fans. Kim goes down through all of that, talks Moon Urson as well. This from Kim Mulkey and Alyssa Smith in their press conference yesterday.
Playing TCU again, there's still maybe 2 or 3 teams you haven't played yet. I know just the way the schedule goes, but what are your thoughts about playing TCU so soon again?
Well, my first thought is selfish that I'll get to coach in the game. That was the first game that I missed in a long time, and I look forward to playing them again. It is a quick turnaround. That they've won 2 of their last 3, so they're playing very confident. Hurd is their leader, and I thought she and Dee in the last game really battled, and you saw 2 good players go at it. But Reagan wasn't in that game, their coach either, so I'm sure it'll be exciting for her to be able to coach in this game as well.
Kim, I don't know if we ever actually asked you, just during that game, the TCU game, how did you kind of handle it? Where did you watch it, and what was your response? And did you throw anything at the TV, or did you yell at the TV, or what?
I did watch bits and pieces. I can't just sit down and watch and just focus because it's just difficult. My personality, it's hard to watch that. I catch myself, when I do that, I get too worked up. And so I would leave the TV on and just go do something and come back, and I'd stop and watch. And, there were good moments that I stopped and watched, and then there were some not so good moments where I would just and go in another room. I'm not a good fan. I probably would be a good fan if that was all I was, but when that's your team they're playing and you're not there, you feel helpless.
And Kim, for you, I saw Michelle's story that listed Moon as an X factor for the NCAA tournament. One of the, kind of looking at players outside of maybe the stars. Do you see her as kind of an X factor for you guys?
Well, I guess I need to go read that, or you need to send it to me. But Moon is not an X factor for our team, that's for sure. What she is a senior that is having an unbelievable year. She patiently, and I don't like using the word patient because when you're not playing, you're not as patient as you may be perceived to be. Internally, it's killing you, but she's just done it the right way. You don't see college athletes do that anymore. They want instant gratification. They want instant playing time. And she's just a young lady that has gotten better every day, learned our system, is playing like you hope all seniors would play, and just having a great year. She, and I've said this many times, she may be the best mid-range jump shooter that I've coached. Chloe Jackson and Moon could shoot the mid-range jumper as good as anybody I've coached.
Now, listen, I wanted to ask you, Dee, we've seen she's had some really good overall games like we would expect. Having gone through everything she's been through, just talk about as a teammate watching her and just, I don't know if it's amazement or just how she's handled all this and how she's kind of gotten back to what she was.
It's a blessing. I mean, just seeing what she did go through and seeing how she recovered. I mean, she's a fighter. We knew she wasn't going to be like that for a long time. She always came into treatment and workouts and all other stuff. So I knew she would bounce back because that's just the type of person she is.
She almost looks like a natural point guard out there, doesn't she, for somebody who's never really played it, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Kim, can you kind of talk about it a little bit, just, what you're seeing of Dee of late? I mean, just the overall and just, like we said, how she's handled this whole thing of coming back with all the starts and stops and everything and being able to get back to her game.
I think the main thing Dee would tell you is there are no guarantees in life. This game can be taken away from you in an instant, and she lived that. And I think that now that she's back healthy, she's not going to waste a moment of playing. She's going to play hard. Dee played hard before her injury. And since then, I think she just realizes probably mentally more than physically. She always gave everything she had to the game. Mentally, it just works on your mind that, am I really going to be able to come back and walk again? And I think that she realizes that This game can be taken away from you in an instant, and give it everything you have while you're on that floor. She has done remarkable as a point guard, 12 assists to 1 turnover the last game. Tells you a lot about, her ability to deliver the pass. Is she most comfortable at that position? I don't think so. I think Dee is a true slasher wing type player for us, but she's helping the young ones grow by being able to handle the point guard position for us.
Did you see her have to get over any mental thing as far as getting back to play the way she wants to play? Was there a moment, or do you think that by her getting over getting through what she did just in the rehab, once she get back to the court, it almost came back more natural?
Well, I think during the rehab, I saw many, many moments where tears flowed because you have no control of your legs. And that's a scary, scary feeling. You know what you've been told by the physicians and the doctors, what to expect, but you still have some self-doubt, But once she got over the hurdle of practicing and being out there, I didn't ever pick up that she was afraid. You see the mental part a lot with knee injuries. Kids who are coming back from ACL injuries, they have to mentally get over it. I never really saw Dee have that type of approach at practice. I continued to watch her take charges when she got back and just play the way Dee's always played.
Okay. Melissa, obviously a couple of great alley-oops the other night. I was just wondering about, crowd interaction. When you make those plays, even though it's limited capacity, do you feel the crowd coming in? Is that does it pop up every now and then?
Oh, for sure. Everything we do, we feed off the crowd. So when the crowd's into it, we're into it. And, it's just good basketball when everybody's into it.
Did it take some getting used to this season with the limited capacity of, the combined energy of the crowd, plus maybe your teammates creating some energy on the bench?
For sure. I feel like being here my freshman and sophomore year, we're so used to having so many fans at the Farrell Center. So then coming in my junior year and we didn't have that many, we knew we had to create our own energy on the bench and just feed off of what we did have.
Kim, a lot of times throughout the years, you've turned to the crowd and kind of waved your arms and asked them to get into it. Are you kind of, noticing or getting used to this limited capacity and what impact the crowd is able to have in those situations?
Well, we miss it. We miss them. And you must understand in women's basketball, who are the people that make up the crowds? It's usually the elderly and those young couples with young children. The elderly are afraid right now. And so you're missing them being there, their presence. I tried the other night against OU to get the crowd involved, and I just thought when I looked around, where are they? So do I get used to it? I don't think we have a choice but to get used to it. Do I like it? No. But I understand why they're not here. I understand. And I think what you're seeing across the country, particularly in women's basketball, there is no dominant team. There's no dominant team. I think everybody in the top's getting beat or having close games or losing at home. Now, a lot of people may like that. A lot of people want that parity. Well, is it truly parity or is it the circumstances that we're having to play with? I don't know.
Do you think that, in a way, the home court advantage has gone? On the men's side especially, you're seeing teams that don't ever lose at home getting beat bad at home. And you guys obviously lost a home game, lost your home winning streak. Is that, is there less of a home court advantage? Obviously there is this year, right?
Well, for two reasons. It's not just the fans. It's the fact that you're under rules and protocols and quarantines and isolations. That's not helpful at all. No matter where you play. So that was our issue. Does the fan base, when they're here in full force, give you a boost of energy in a tight game? Absolutely. So I think it's twofold. You miss that home court advantage when you're under rules and protocols and procedures and you haven't practiced or you don't have your full team. And then also the fact that it's not your normal atmosphere.
Well, Coach Smokey, she's had a couple of alley-oops, and it looks like you're just saying, why don't you go ahead and flush it? I know 2 points are 2 points, but if she had that opportunity, would you allow it?
Yeah, if she makes it. Maggie, let me say this about alley-oops and all that. Nalissa can do things with her body that a lot of girls cannot. And our players are becoming more comfortable on where to give Nalissa the pass in the open floor. But I also have to be careful when I tell her these types of things. In a timeout the other night, she went up and got an offensive rebound. She caught it in the air and she tipped it. Well, she's going to lose a lot of fouls because referees aren't used to seeing girls catch it in the air like that, and it was a shot attempt. She ended up getting her own rebound and got fouled, but I tell her sometimes you got to use good judgment there. They don't have a clue that you had control of that ball and you were trying to go right back up with it in the air. In a close game, see, she's got to be able to make that decision. You see it all the time on the guys' side. Her double-doubles are pretty much becoming every night things, but as I told her, there are double-doubles that are meaningless, and then there are double-doubles that mean the heck out of a ball game. And I thought her game at Oklahoma State may have been her finest double-double. And not because of the numbers were any different than what she's been doing, but her leadership, her keeping her composure, her making the right pass to a teammate. And I think she's starting to see the difference. I want to say this, if you haven't already seen it, hopefully Kyle has sent it to you, and I failed to mention it the other night because quite frankly, I didn't realize it. Holding Oklahoma to 14 rebounds, guys, I think it's an all-time low since I've been coaching in the Big 12. Now that's this particular team this year playing the way we've had to play to do that. That's pretty remarkable. And then to allow our young ones coming off the bench to grow, they outscored OU's bench 20-0. Those are little things that will help our basketball team continue to get better and grow up.
Welcome back on the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Drake Toll with a whole host. Live studio audience today. Kim Mulkey talking about Oklahoma, 14 rebounds. The Lady Sooners held to just the Soonerettes, if you will, held to just 14 rebounds against Baylor. That's, what is that song, All Time Low? By, who sang that? Was that John Bellion? Really? Bellion? Nice. Maybe. Okay. But yeah, all time low, 14 rebounds. Stupid good basketball from the Lady Bears against Oklahoma, and they will showcase it again tonight in the Farrell Center against TCU. That game at 7 o'clock this evening can be watched on ESPN+. John Morris on the call. Lady Bears. Man, if I got to bet the house, if I got to bet all my Monopoly money, I'm putting on the Lady Bears tonight against a TCU team that's really reeling right now in Big 12 play. Lady Bears are finding their stride. Caitlin Pickell will be seen in a larger role tonight back. Dejanay Carrington still out, but nonetheless, I don't think TCU has a single weapon to put up with the Bears. Their second game this season, their second meeting this season, I think Baylor's going to win this one again in blowout fashion. I mean, nothing new. It's the Lady Bears. What else could you expect? I am Drake Toll alongside Cole Andrews, Jack McKenzie. We got Andrew Robertson, Zach Sweeney, and Armstrong Sims. It is a live studio audience today. This is Up Tempo.
Around college sports on Super Monday, Big 12 basketball saw one of its best games of the entire year, with West Virginia narrowly escaping Texas Tech and Morgantown 88-87, thanks to a late shot from Miles McBride.
Uses a screen, gets to the baseline, off balance, he's got it! 6 seconds to go. Here comes McClung. A 1-point game. McClung floats one. Just off the rim, and West Virginia steals it on a McBride game winner.
Elsewhere, number 8, Virginia trounced Syracuse at home 81-58. Oklahoma State won 81-60 in Ames, and Arizona toppled Arizona State 80-67. On the women's side, number 7 Maryland suffered their first loss in Big Ten play as they fell on the road against number 14 Ohio State in an 88-86 shootout. And the number 19 Lady Razorbacks of Arkansas fell at number 22 Georgia 75-73 as the Lady Bulldogs outscored the Hogs by 7 in the fourth quarter. In golf, the Baylor men's team opened its spring season by winning the Rice Intercollegiate in Houston by shooting a 13 under par 563 on 36 holes Monday, thanks to big days from Colin Kober and Johnny Kiefer. Locally, Jared Butler was named a top 10 finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, while also earning National Player of the Week honors, Big 12 Player of the Week, and Naismith Trophy Player of the Week. Not to be outdone, D.D. Richards has been named to the Naismith Trophy's Defensive Player of the Year watch list. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
All right, welcome back in Up Tempo, the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Today it is a Super Tuesday in college basketball. Tonight I'm joined in studio by Cole Andrews, Andrew Robertson, Jack McKenzie, Armstrong Sims, and Zach Sweeney. How about it? Gonna do a little bit of we're gonna do a recap on the Sick 'em Pick'em tonight because I got some Monopoly money last night, $59 in Monopoly money last night amongst my fraternity brothers that we pooled. We've got Andrew Robertson joining the show with us, too, to give us his picks on tonight's games as well. Did you know, college basketball expert picks on CBS, the experts are 530 and 555 picking the over-under. They have a 49% success rate with the over-under. Does that sound good? No. Is it good? Also no. But we're not going to listen to them because we're our own experts today. Tulsa and Temple. The experts had Tulsa minus 1.5. Last time I checked, that was a 20-point game.
It was a blowout. Absolute blowout.
Temple was leading. Hate to see that. And they picked the under. The over's going to hit. Oh, CBS. Other games today. Let's talk a little bit of Power 5 action. Sports or teams that I know a little bit more about. North Carolina is on the road against Pittsburgh. It is Pittsburgh plus 3.5. What do we think, guys?
I think North Carolina's a dumpster fire, and Pittsburgh's going to be so up for this game. I mean, you don't get to play.
I'm good.
Okay. Kentucky at Alabama. This is one that I may lock. It's a 148 over-under. I think the under is going to hit in this one, but I also never bet the under. Who bets the under? Kentucky at Alabama. Alabama is a 6.5-point favorite. The Crimson Tide are a top 10 team. Kentucky has just gotten drubbed all season. They're like 5-9 right now. I love this pick for Alabama at home. I'm not going to bet the house on it, but I think I'm going to take Bama at -6.5 at home tonight.
Couldn't agree with you more. Kentucky is also a really bad team right now. They're not playing good ball at all. Alabama's hot. You got to ride Alabama, especially at home.
I like the Crimson Tide. Mississippi State and Tennessee. This one is at Tennessee. The Volunteers are 9.5-point favorites against a Mississippi State team that's gaining a little bit of momentum. Tennessee is awful right now. They've dropped from 6th in the country to 18th. The over-under is 127, really low over-under. If there's anything I touch in this, it's got to be the over, but I don't touch Tennessee -9.5 at home tonight.
You can't with their recent performances, and that's a smart pick. The over-under being 127 is very interesting. I think I'm probably going to take the over. That might be a lock.
That's so low. That is so low at 127 in an SEC basketball game. However, Tennessee's played pretty good defense this year. Oklahoma at Texas. This one I'm not touching with a 50-foot pole. Texas, a 4-point favorite at home against top 25 Oklahoma. The Longhorns are number 5 in the country. The over-under is 143. I like the over in this one, but I don't touch that Texas -4 tonight on the line.
Well, you said the experts have Oklahoma, which makes me even more weary. They have no Shaka Smart, so it's going to be interesting to see who steps up. I think I'd take Texas just because I don't think they can afford to lose this game.
I think, I don't know, man. I think it's really tough at Texas. Oklahoma's played well. Shaka Smart is out. I don't touch it. If I had to give a pick, though, I like Texas. I still like Texas as a 4-point favorite tonight at home in the Irwin Center. Butler and Connecticut. This is one that I like a lot. Butler has not played that well. Connecticut is really in a slump. However, they're at home. They're on the bridge of being a top 25 team. The over-under is only 122.5. That is such a low over-under. I got to hammer the over in that one. UConn -5.5 at home. I'm going to hammer that. I think both of those are probably safe bets tonight. You may even parlay it.
I'm going to ride with you on that one. You sound like you know a lot about those games. I know very little about those games, and 122.5 is so low. I mean, ride it.
One of the reasons my fraternity brothers hate me in this game is because they have put a lot of Monopoly money into this, and I am taking their Monopoly money, considering it is my job to know about college sports. So I have studied these teams almost out of necessity, but also because I love college sports. Last night, I was screaming at the Texas Tech-West Virginia game, a game that otherwise I probably wouldn't have cared about, maybe wouldn't have watched, had it not been for the fact that I have Monopoly monies riding on the game. And it hit. 5 out of 6 last night, folks. Duke by 6, -6 against Georgia Tech at Duke. Again, I don't think this is one I'd touch. I don't like touching blue blood games this year because they've been so inconsistent, but Duke's been kind of booty. Georgia Tech has been okay. They played really well. Georgia Tech played Virginia within 2 at Virginia in their last game. Georgia Tech at Duke. I'm going to go against probably my better judgment here and say I like Georgia Tech +6 at Duke tonight.
I liked Georgia Tech until you told me that it was Duke at home. I think that's not enough respect to Duke. They're still good. They're not UNC by any means because UNC is horrible.
Duke is worse
Duke
than
have
UNC.
fans?
Really?
No, I don't think they do. Yeah, Duke's worse. Duke's 5-5 right now. UNC, I think UNC's still top 5 in the ACC from record-wise.
Wow.
But the ACC is not good, too. The ACC has been pretty, especially comparatively. So you're taking Duke at -6 at home?
I think you have to. I think you have to take Duke here at home. If they were away, I would take Georgia Tech easily. But at home, you got to take Duke.
Over-under in that one is 140.5. I don't touch that.
This all adds to Duke being terrible this year adds to my theory that Coach K has been a bad coach since 2015.
Well, Coach K's he just keeps blaming it on his players. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of blame that Coach K does not take. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it.
This as well. Texas A&M is at home against LSU. LSU -5 tonight. I like LSU -5 on the road. Over under 140.5. Don't touch the over under, but I like LSU -5.
If I had to pick, because I don't want to, but LSU would be my pick as well.
I really do. I think that one's a lock too. I think LSU by 5 at A&M tonight. Buzz Williams, they just really aren't playing well right now. I think LSU takes the win in that one on the road in College Station. Missouri and Auburn. This one at Auburn. Missouri number 12 in the country. The over-under is 150.5, which I like. I like the over in that one because Auburn is scoring really well right now. This is maybe the best game. I think this is the best game in college basketball. Top 15 Missouri at an unranked Auburn team that's getting hot right now. Auburn by 2.5. Do you even touch it? Maybe a money line game here?
I don't want to touch this one either. I mean, they're both. You can't take Auburn's season really into account yet because they just got Sharif Cooper back. They've had a rocky start. They're playing a lot better with him, but I think there might be an overcorrection on this line. I think Mizzou probably wins this game, but I don't know if I'd touch it.
How about Armstrong? You had mentioned Sharif Cooper coming back and how that was going to affect Auburn. Do you think that changes the scope of this game?
Yeah, a little, but I think I don't really know. Again, like we were talking about earlier, it's so you cannot tell with Auburn.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't touch any Auburn game almost just because you can never tell. They're either going to come out and score 109 or they're going to come out and score like 65.
You know what you should also not touch? Freaking Syracuse plus 7.5 at Virginia last night. Man, I could have parlayed 6 last night. It would have been a gajillionaire. In Monopoly money with my fraternity brothers that were pooling. All right, today, celebrity birthdays, Armstrong. How about it? Celebrity birthday number 1 is Ellen DeGeneres. Armstrong, how old is Ellen DeGeneres today?
Ellen, oh my gosh. Ellen's 50. 50. I'll go 50.
50. You're telling me Ellen DeGeneres was 49 years old yesterday.
That is, you make a good point.
That's all I needed to say.
I'm going to go like 57, actually.
She's 63. Ellen DeGeneres is 63.
Yeah, you made a good point.
Looks great.
She does look good. Wayne Gretzky's got a birthday today. He could still strap it up and play.
Oh, I don't think he could. I got like 7. What? I'm trying to think. You would say 40s or 50s? I would say like 75.
60. Wayne Gretzky is 60 today.
Really?
Happy birthday, Wayne Gretzky. How old would Eddie Van Halen have been if he was still here with us?
80.
Eddie Van Halen would have been 66.
Wow.
Could still play the guitar. Could still play the guitar.
Over-guessing all these.
Vince Carter. This one's pretty neat. Vince Carter, how old is he today? Happy birthday, Vince.
45, 43.
44.
Wow.
Split them up right there. Vince Carter, happy 44th birthday. That we have run ourselves into yet another day where there are very few good birthdays. Bessie Coleman, famous pilot Bessie Coleman.
Famous pilot,
Yep.
Bessie Coleman.
African-American pilot. She was an African-American pilot, really renovated.
Okay.
Renovated?
So
Innovated.
I'm going to say 70. 5.
You're close. She's 129 today. Happy birthday to Bessie Coleman.
Gosh. Okay.
Other famous birthdays today, we're looking at Bob. No. We've got shoot. I had one pulled up right here, and it just went. Wayne Gretzky was 60. We already did that one. Sarah Rue, actress Sarah Rue, is her birthday today.
30.
She is 43. Happy 43rd birthday to Sarah Rue. The rest of these, Douglas MacArthur had a birthday today. Abner Doubleday, baseball inventor.
Abner Doubleday.
Have you heard that name before?
Inventor of baseball?
Yeah. Good. I was just making sure you heard that name.
No, I was just this dude invented baseball.
Yeah, he invented baseball. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that at all. No, I didn't know that.
In fact, James Naismith is so well known, but then Abner Doubleday, we probably don't give it up.
I didn't know baseball invention was assigned to one person.
You are the inventor.
It just was created, you know?
Really, over time?
Yeah.
It just developed?
I didn't know like one person created it.
This day in sports history, and we paid homage to him earlier today, the death of Kobe Bryant in the year
2020.
2020 kicked off just a cluster screw of a year. Kobe's death, paid homage to him again earlier in the show with paying our respects and talking about where we were the day it happened and his impact on college sports. How about Australian Open? Maria Sharapova wins her first and only Australian title. Maria Sharapova.
Great.
Do you know?
What year?
In the year.
Yeah.
She's kind of old. She's old at this point. I imagine she's probably in her 40s. I think I'm going to go 2016.
I'm going to go 2008.
Whoa.
2008,
Wow.
Maria Sharapova, the Australian Open.
Totally knew it.
Huge women's tennis fan.
Yeah, big
women's tennis guy. Hey, we had Livia on earlier, Krause on earlier. How about, there's some Wayne Gretzky scores his 50th goal in his 49th game of the season.
Wayne
in
Gretzky
what year?
stuff.
On his birthday.
I'm trying to think about.
He did this on his birthday.
What did we just say how old he was?
He's 60. He's definitely
66. He's 66.
Oh, all
He's
right.
66.
Yeah.
So he did this in the 78.
Okay. Wayne Gretzky, 1985. 1985. And then how about this?
I was trying to do math.
The formation of the first rugby union at a meeting at Pall Mall Restaurant in London, England.
1900.
1871. We got a full studio today. I am Drake Toll. This has been Up Tempo, joined by Cole Andrews, Andrew Robertson, Jack McKenzie, Armstrong Sims, and Zach Sweeney. Today on your Tuesday, we come back tomorrow following the Baylor women's basketball game against TCU. Break that thing down and preview men's basketball tomorrow night against Kansas State. This has been Up Tempo.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.